mean, because this week has all the implications. Every game this week, for the most part, implies something or it means something in terms of the standings in the playoffs and stuff like that. You guys know how close and tight of a race it is for the play-in and just the playoffs in general and all the seeding and stuff like that. So I got to ask you guys right from the beginning, are you excited about this week? And what about this week is most important for you, or just what stands out the most for you this week? Jim?
I just think seedings, to be honest with you, I think seedings more than anything, because the matchups are going to be key in the playoffs. It could be the difference between getting out of the first round, a coach keeping his job, and losing in the first round, and guys getting traded and roles getting reduced. So a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, who are, I think they're in the second seed right now, with them being in the second seed, they could very well drop from 2 to 5, just like Cleveland just did a couple of days ago. Dropped in a 2-day span. They went from 3 to 5, just like that. And it could be the difference between a coach losing his job. It could be the difference between a roster getting completely flipped around. The New Orleans Pelicans. It could be the difference between them winning in the first round, playing against the Clippers, or losing in the first round, playing against the Dallas Mavericks and getting a bad matchup. That's why I still don't understand why this time of year you got guys sitting out. I do understand that you're trying to manage people. All right, I get that part. But for the race to be this close, it really doesn't make a lot of sense to me that if I'm available, why am I not going? Because I saw the Clippers game on Sunday afternoon, and Donovan Mitchell is quote-unquote hurt as everybody says he is. He looked like a healthy scratch. He was on the sidelines. He was jumping around. He was cheering on his teammates. This is a game that they needed. And for them to lose, dropped into 5th place. They were a game out the second spot. And with the Clippers, I'm sorry, with Milwaukee losing, they could have moved up to the 2 spot. So the fact that these guys are available and they not playing is alarming to me.
Chill, don't you think that could possibly mean that kind of what Mars had implied yesterday? Cleveland don't want that 2 spot.
Well, here's the thing, though. I'm going to have to see this. If I'm going to go deep into the playoffs and I'm going to get to where I'm trying to get to, there's teams I'm going to have to see. So if I got to see Miami in the first round, when would I rather see Miami? I go back to Nick Wright's logic. When would I rather see Miami in the first round? I got a Donovan Mitchell who's banged up, right? And with him being banged up, I'd much rather see Miami in round 1 where the games are spread out. I got more time to rest. I have more time to recover. It's not a bad matchup. We do have everything that's necessary in order to beat these guys, as opposed to if I got to see them in the semifinals. Well, the games aren't as spread out now, and I'm more apt. I have less time to recover. Plus, I got to see these dudes anyway. So when is the best time to see them? Probably now.
It goes, well, I think that, well, I don't know. I'm not in these front offices, but it goes back to like, people judge team success by how far they go in the playoffs. That's just generally how it's judged. No one cares about the context of, well, you lost to this team in the first round, so technically it's not as bad as if you would have beat worse teams and got to the conference finals to lose to the same team anyway. It's like people praise making the finals over losing in the conference finals to the same team you would have lost in the finals to. I go back to the 2018 Houston Rockets. The 2018 Cavs get praised for making the finals. The Rockets lost to that same Warriors team the Cavs lost to, but no one praises the Rockets for going to the conference finals because it's about how far you go. So no one really cares about who you play. If you're the Cavs, you just want to go as far as possible. If you can avoid Boston or Miami or whoever and get further in the playoffs and then lose to them eventually, you're still going to be judged as more of a success because you went further in the playoffs. They don't care who you play. If you lose early, it doesn't matter who you play. If Miami lose in the first round because they play Boston, or they get the 7th seed and lose in the conference finals to Boston, they'll judge the conference finals appearance as better, even though they lost to the same team anyway. That's just how it goes. It's just you get praised more for losing later on. So
sure,
that's why.
But question on Mars. With that being said, do goals matter? So, for example, what Cleveland has done, I bring up Cleveland as a reference because Cleveland goes from a play-in team 2 years ago. They get Donovan Mitchell last year. They're a top 5 seed. They end up losing in the first round. This year, the goal has to be higher than what it was last year. We can't lose like we did last year. We can't get smoked in the first round and just get rolled over and bullied. So I'm sure that I'm sure that the goal is higher this year than it was last year. And if we don't attain that goal, right? And if we don't attain getting out of the first round, teams are going to be judged on that right there. So we get smoked in the first round by the New York Knicks, get bullied. The next year, we're basically where we were last year in terms of seedings. I thought they'd be a top 3 seed this year, which they were which they were this year up until I think like 2 days ago. They were top 3 seed. But then we end up losing to the same team the same way last year. That means that we're in the same space.
Well, yeah, right now the Cavs would play the Knicks again. So that would like be a straight rematch. There's like, if they lost again, then they haven't made much progress. But my point is less about those individual matchups and more like if the Cavs got the 3 seed and then played the Pacers in round 1 and won, is that automatically a better season than last year because you played a worse opponent and therefore won? Does that really prove you improved, or does that mean you just played a worse playoff opponent so you went further than you did last year when you played a better team? But like people will judge it as more success, but I'm like, you played a worse team.
Well, two things can be true.
Two things can be true, but it also can be one thing is true and one thing's wrong, and y'all just happen to go further, and y'all really aren't a better team.
Well, that I think that's subjective, and the reason why I feel like that's subjective because if you watch the Cavs and you see Evan Mobley, if you don't see the same guy and you still think that he's that guy, then you absolutely being subjective. I don't think Jared Allen, from watching him in the regular season, I don't see the same guy that I did last year.
You think he's better? You think the Cavs are better?
I do think that he's better. I think that the thing I am concerned about, and again, I'm using Cleveland as a reference. There are plenty of other teams that I'm also using as a reference, like Minnesota. I think Minnesota is a lot better than what they were last year. And that's largely due to Rudy Gobert just defensively and Anthony Edwards improving. But I'm thinking about, like Miles, what you said, if the Cavs end up seeing Indiana in the first round and they beat them, well, even if they do play a worse team, if Evan Mobley plays better and we see a tougher Evan Mobley, if we see a tougher Jared Allen, if we see Max Strus shooting the basketball better than what he did, well, I'd have to say, watching them, that, okay, they are better, even though they're playing a lesser opponent, and I'm going to have to see them do this against a better opponent. But I would have to say that what I saw them do last year in the first round, they didn't do that this year. So I would have to say that they were better. Even if they did play against a lesser opponent, they did play better. Because they could have done the same thing and got pushed around.
Couldn't one argue that it's easier to look better when you play against one of the worst defenses in the league and you're not actually better, you're just playing against a terrible defense, and therefore it makes it look easier for you. You're not getting pushed around because instead of going up against a front line that has Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson, you're going against Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam. Not calling them soft, but I'm just saying it's a difference in physicality. It might just play more into your strengths. Does that mean you've actually addressed your weaknesses, or you're just going up against a favorable matchup? The playoffs all about matchups, so like,
it is.
That's what I'm saying.
Which goes to my point, Miles, that it's still the playoffs though, and the lights are even brighter. Now, don't get me wrong, you are playing possibly a lesser opponent. You know how I feel about Miles Turner. I do think he's soft, and I do think that this would be a favorable matchup for the Cavs. However, these guys playing in the playoffs, we saw how bright the lights were last year, and they folded. In addition to them getting pushed around, so if the lights are still bright, but they don't get pushed around, even if it's a lesser opponent, I'd have to think that they did improve somewhat.
Okay, I get
it. Sure, that was what you said a minute ago. That was hilarious. It took me back in time when you were saying that Donovan Mitchell wasn't playing, but he was on the sideline jumping around. That's like, like when you stay home sick from school, like you don't sit sick right now.
Catch your ass at the park. What the hell you doing out here?
Go lay your ass down. I thought you was sick.
What the hell you about to
do? And also Ryan Jones. That's a crazy profile picture. But chill. Well, I think it's more important. Like you say, resting guys, getting guys ready, right? I think that's more important than the matchup. Like I would rather have Donovan Mitchell or Kawhi Leonard sat down 4 or 5 games at the stretch, rested their knees, rested their shoulders, whatever that ailment is, right? I would rather them be ready in the playoffs than have a certain opponent.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, let me think of a team. Like, I would rather have a healthy in the East. I would rather have a healthy Donovan Mitchell against the Knicks than a broke down Donovan Mitchell against the Pacers.
I do understand. I do get that. But what I'm also thinking about is when you coming into the playoffs, I want to be super sharp. I don't want to be. I don't want to have any rust on me. Now, if you have a comfortable 11-game lead like the Boston Celtics do, and you can afford to rest guys like that, I think that's one thing. But when I'm fighting for my playoff life, and I'm trying to, I'm not necessarily trying to avoid teams. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stay as sharp as possible. Because once the playoffs start, I'm going to have to see different matchups. And whether I get a bad matchup in the first round, whether I get a good matchup in the first round, I still got to do what got us here. I still have to do that. And if I can't do that because, for example, Joel Embiid, right? For example, Joel Embiid being 2 weeks out from the playoffs, he hasn't played in 2 weeks. I mean, he's only played 2 weeks. I feel much better with Joel Embiid, and I feel much better about the Philadelphia 76ers had he not gotten hurt, if he came into the playoffs ready. Not just physically, but mentally, because he's sharp. If Donovan Mitchell, who's banged up, well, he's in and out of the lineup, I think mentally his confidence isn't there because, can I really do what I used to do? My knees are bothering me, my back is, as opposed to another guy who's super sharp coming into the playoffs and he's ready to go.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these standings on the screen right now, and let's just kind of let's see what we're working with right now. By the way, it was no NBA games last night, so we won't talk about any games. It was a college basketball game though that we will definitely get into. But right now, we're gonna dive into these standings. It's a couple different. We'll start in the Eastern Conference. It's a couple different just sections of teams where they're fighting for different seeding and stuff. So the first one is obviously, I mean, the East is so close. It's almost like the 2 through 8 are all kind of fighting for seeding. But really, let's hone in on this 2 through 5. How do we see this panning out for the rest of the season?
Are we not talking about Orlando as much as we should? Am I sleeping on the Orlando Magic? Don't get me wrong. I know that they're young, and I know that they got some really good pieces, but are they fool's gold? Am I not paying attention to them, or am I overestimating them?
They'll beat Indiana, which is who they play right now.
You think they can beat Indiana, Moss?
Yeah.
Mm.
But everyone else, their offense just isn't good enough, to be honest.
I got to ask you, why do you think that?
Because the Indiana Pacers, the only team in the Eastern Conference playoffs, well, and the Bucks, but mainly the Pacers, who can't guard anything. And the Orlando Magic struggle offensively. If they go up against a terrible defense who likes to push the pace and who likes to really just spread the floor and kind of defense is an afterthought, Orlando can score. And their defense is so stifling, they can slow down the Pacers. So that's a favorable matchup for them. A team that can't really guard, but who they can slow down because their offense is pretty much one guy. Pretty much.
Yeah.
No disrespect to everyone else, but it all goes through one guy. You can slow him.
Who's that one guy, Mars? Who's that one guy?
Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay. Are you talking about Indiana? Okay.
Yeah. So if you're able to, and I'm not saying they're going to stop the Indiana Pacers offense, but if you can slow them down, it creates easier opportunities for you offensively.
Right.
And it just plays more into your favor, especially when late in games you have maybe one of the best defenses the playoffs will have. Now, there's also the concerns about your late game execution offensively, but I think they can beat Indiana. And I think that's the series they would want. If they could pick a matchup, they would pick Indiana. Everyone else, they probably would look to avoid.
I just think defensively, I think they can handle themselves in the first round. If they ended up seeing the Knicks in the first round, I really liked them against the Knicks.
The Pacers? The Magic?
I do like them against the Knicks. And the reason why I like them against the Knicks is the Knicks play the same way that they play. Like you said, with that stifling defense. But I feel like Paolo and I feel like France, that's a dimension that they didn't have. Now, the Knicks may come into this series looking at Orlando like these are a bunch of kids that we just going to push around, just like they did with Cleveland the year before. They may very well think that. I don't think that Paolo is soft, though. I don't think France is soft. I think that Cole Anthony, as a rotation guard, I think he'll give them some significant minutes. And I think that their offense, in that kind of series against the Knicks, I think that offense will be a lot better off the strength that they could play a little bit faster because they can rebound the ball a little bit more. No Julius Randle. I feel like they could rebound a little bit more and they could play a little bit faster. So I think that offense will be a little bit better. Now, as far as Indiana, I think
real quick, just let's stay with Orlando for a second. Orlando in New York. Do you think Jalen Suggs can slow down Jalen Brunson?
I think that he could do I think he can in that matchup between the Knicks and the Cavs. I think he could probably do a better job than the Cavs could do on him. I think
I could see that for sure.
I definitely think he could do a better job because as good as Donovan Mitchell is, and I think Donovan Mitchell is a solid defender. I think mentally, because where he is physically, I don't think he's really looking at this matchup like he would if he was fully healthy.
Right.
It depends how physical they allow that series to be. Because Jalen Suggs is going to have to rely on physicality, which Jalen Brunson plays through. But if they don't allow too much physicality, yeah, he's going to get cooked. But
the rest will have to, Mars. They can't like that matchup. If they don't,
yeah, that's why. Yeah, that series has. You have to allow. I'm gonna be honest. If there's a Knicks series and you aren't allowing physicality, the Knicks are going to lose in 2 games. So you kind of have to. You kind of have to allow that. But that's an interesting dimension for sure.
The Magic are a physical team. You will qualify them as a physical team.
You can't be
for the most part. Yeah,
you can't be one of the best teams in the league defensively and be soft. You can't be, yo.
You know why I like that? Because they're a young team, but yet they're not no punks. They're a young team, but they like, you're not really gonna bully us. You're not gonna push us around. That's good. Assuming that this core stays together, that we get to see them be like bullies and bruisers and a good defensive team for the foreseeable future. I like it. I think that's good for the game.
Kind of like Houston. Yeah.
Is Houston physical, or is it just Dylan Brooks yapping?
I don't know. We have anger issues with the amount of
y'all for sure got. You know what? Yeah, y'all refuse to get pushed around. I'll give you that.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Definitely not. Might not be hard body, but y'all definitely not no punks though.
Right.
Yeah.
So once again, back to the Pacers and the Magic though. So Mars, you got the Magic.
Yeah, if I had to pick, I'd take the Magic.
Okay, Ox and Chill. Where you guys?
They can't slow anybody down, Ron. They can't stop nobody. The idea is this: we're just going to run it up. And I think that, and I'm not on the fence about this. I think Miles Turner is soft. I think he's soft. Of all the guys that I think about in the playoffs, I think Miles Turner can be pushed around. I think he's soft, and he is their best interior defender, which is kind of crazy considering Johnson's a really good defender, but he can't score. So because he can't score, we can't keep him on the floor long. That's why Miles Turner's on the floor, because he stretches the defense. But on defense, he's soft. And I think that Orlando can push him around. I think Powell can rough him up. I think Franz can rough him up. And I think that as a not just them, I also think Cole Anthony and their guards getting downhill can beat him up. I think he's soft.
Who you got in that series, Ox?
You're asking who do I got in the series between Orlando and Indiana or Cleveland?
Yeah.
Orlando and Indiana.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando, Indiana. That's tough, Ron. I don't think Miles is soft, but I definitely don't think Pascal Siakam is soft. Like, I don't think there's anything soft about
No, he
that.
is not.
Oh man. I think I might have to go. I think I might have to go with Indiana on that one.
It's really a clash of an elite offense and an elite defense. That's what I like about that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's 2 different things. It's like what happens on that side of the ball when Indiana is on offense and the Magic's on defense. But then also what happens on the other side? Like Magic, can you take advantage of their weak defense, or Indiana, can you guys put together some schemes on defense to improve your defense and I guess take advantage of their offense too, or take advantage of their lack of offense?
I'm gonna go with Indiana on that one, Ron. I think Tyrese Halliburton is a difference maker in that series. I think he can. I think Tyrese can take over that series. I just don't got faith in Paolo being aggressive enough. I've been saying it for the last couple months about Paolo. I just don't think he's ready yet. He got all the skills. He got all the attributes. He has the toolbox. He will be ready, but not yet. And I think they're gonna go through him. If they went through Franz, I think it might be a little different. But I think Tyrese takes that series over, and I damn near got Indiana in 6, if not 5. I don't think that's gonna be too tough of a series for Indiana.
It'll be Ali's first ever playoffs too. Like it's an experience on both sides. Just
Right.
It is Mars, but the person who I got being a difference maker is actually the one champion that's on the floor.
Pascal.
I got Pascal eating against them. I don't think they have anything for Pascal. It's nothing that they can do for this team.
Jonathan Isaac?
Hey,
Jonathan Isaac?
Does he know?
Wait.
Does he know? Does he know?
Hold
Does he
on,
know?
hold on.
I was just about to say that.
This is the thing. How many minutes does Jonathan Isaac play?
Enough.
Oh,
We
geez,
have
24,
enough.
25 minutes a game.
Enough.
That's not
Enough.
enough, chill, because Pascal's going to
That's
play
enough.
30, 35, 36.
If he matches Siakam's minutes for the most part, because he's not going to start, but if he matches Siakam's minutes, especially in the second half, that's enough. That's enough.
And on top of that, Ron, it depends on when he plays. It's not like he's got to play 25 straight minutes. No, we can play him 6 minutes in the third, 5 minutes in the fourth, where he can throw Siakam's rhythm off, and he could play 7 minutes in the second, so Siakam doesn't get going, and just be as physical as possible. He doesn't have to play 25 straight minutes. Nah,
It ain't like that, Chilltown. It ain't like that. With all due respect to my man Keegan, Pascal Siakam is not Keegan Murray. You're not gonna bully, like Jonathan Isaac is not gonna bully Pascal Siakam. He's not gonna box him up. That's gonna be a fade.
He's not gonna let Siakam eat the Magic though. He's not gonna let them cook.
No,
Like,
that's
he's not
not-
gonna let Siakam be
With
the reason they win.
all due respect to Jonathan Isaac, it's not about letting him do anything. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
get you,
obviously, he's not gonna let him. But Pascal
Right.
Siakam ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Pascal's not no regular dude. I know sometimes he flies under the radar,
right.
but Pascal is big. You know what I'm saying? He's strong. He's built just like Jonathan Isaac. You know, similar build. He,
Right.
you know, I don't think I got big love for Jonathan Isaac. Don't get me wrong, but once again, we all know he's not gonna play 30 plus minutes like Pascal Siakam. He might play 18, 19, and I just don't think he might slow him down, but. Like I said, with all due respect to my man Keegan, he's not Keegan Murray, bro.
That right there. Think about how effective you are in an 8 minute stretch. Think about how effective he is in a 7 minute stretch. So when Siakam comes in the game where he's keeping the ball away from Siakam, or he's being physical with Siakam, beating Siakam to spots. You just mentioned how Siakam isn't soft, which he's not. Siakam gets downhill with some of the best of them. Jonathan Isaac is a bit of 6'10". A bit of 6'10", and with that length and that width, him beating Siakam to spots and being physical, the whistle kind of slows down a little bit in the playoffs. And when a guy can't get it going early, that could determine what your team looks like for the rest of the game. So if Jonathan Isaac is doing that in the first 3-4 minutes, then 6, then comes back and does it again for 5 or 6 more minutes, I can definitely throw Siakam's rhythm off for the game.
Definitely could. But I mean, in a 7-game series, you know, 4 games, I just don't see it happening. I think first of all, I just want to go off, just go and make it clear. I know we're not talking about who's necessarily a better basketball player, but Pascal Siakam is better than Jonathan Isaac, and Jonathan Isaac's defensive presence is incredible. But if he's slowing him down, so basically what I'm saying, we got to count on him to slow Pascal down in his limited minutes. And not only that, we got to count on Jalen Suggs to be able to slow Tyrese Halliburton down.
Right.
I just don't see both of those things happening at the same time. It doesn't have to happen for 4, but let's say 3 games. I don't see that happening.
Siakam's most dangerous in transition. I think that's probably hard to game plan against, other than stopping Indiana from getting out in transition, which would mean having a good offense and also probably not going for offensive rebounds. But Tyrese Halliburton is so dangerous with outlet passes and stuff. You're probably gonna have to live with the transition offense Siakam's gonna give you. In the half court is where I think Jonathan Isaac can slow him down. So even if Pascal scores 18, 20 a game, if 8 of them are in transition, you're nullifying his impact in the half court, which can help you when the game slows down. Because Jonathan Isaac is going to close games. I don't think there's a doubt in my mind he's going to be closing. So if you can slow them down in the half court, that's where I think his value is going to come from. Not about his overall points or whatever. It's about what is he doing in the half court when the game slows down. That's where I think Jonathan Isaac will be his most impactful. And that's why the playoffs are suited for him, because you can't play up and down all game in the playoffs. It's just not possible.
The game is going to slow down at some point, and we're going to exploit mismatches. We're going to exploit whatever deficiencies you have throughout the course of the game. That's going to happen. Now, unless there are exceptions, Phoenix in 2005 with the 8 seconds or less offense. The Golden State Warriors get up and down the floor. There are exceptions to teams. I mean, the Lakers in '87, that's just getting up and down the floor. Now, how do you slow them? How do you slow Indiana down? Well, one of the things you got to do to slow Indiana down is Jalen Suggs that pickup point has to be higher. I immediately think about Drew Holiday when they were playing against Phoenix in the NBA Finals. After game 2, that pickup point went from half court to 75 feet. So now we got to slow them. Now we slow their transition game down. So now they're getting across half court with the shot clock at 14 seconds, 13 seconds. Now they got to hurry up in their offense. Now they got to get shots that they probably wouldn't have gotten if Chris Paul was able to walk the ball up a little bit slower or get the ball up the floor faster. He wasn't able to do that. I feel like Jalen Suggs going up against Tyrese Halliburton, if he could get in front of him and slow him down to slow their transition game down, because I feel a lot more comfortable with Tyrese Halliburton throwing the ball up to Mathurin than him having the ball in his hands. I feel a lot more comfortable with him doing that.
Well, Mathurin not even going to be there because he tore his labrum. So they got Neesmith.
Right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so even better, Mars. I actually feel if he's throwing the ball ahead to Neesmith, if he's throwing the ball ahead to not Siakam, because Siakam's one of the best transition players in the game. I don't really love him throwing the ball to Siakam, but if he's throwing the ball ahead to Neesmith and the light skinned kid, I forget his name.
Nembhard.
Yeah, him, Nembhard. If he's throwing the ball ahead to Obi Toppin, if he's throwing the ball ahead to them guys, I feel a lot more comfortable as opposed to him running down the gut with nobody covering him. I feel a lot more comfortable if I'm the Orlando defense.
I don't know how much Obi Toppin can play. Yeah, TJ McConnell for sure. I don't know how much Obi Toppin can play. He's a terrible defender. I don't know how much he can play in the playoffs. But maybe.
Here's the thing, Mars.
Defending though.
Right. Yes. That's it, Mars. That is it right there. Not only who he's defending, what kind of action are they getting? Because we can basically put us in zone, and putting us in zone, we know who Obi Toppin is. Obi Toppin just wants to get out. He can crack the long ball, so that's going to help. In addition to him cracking the long ball, he can get out in transition and finish at the rim. So we got to find some minutes for him. No, he ain't Sean Marion or nobody like that. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is with the way that they play, if that pickup point isn't going to be higher, then definitely we can get significant minutes from Obi Toppin. I mean, he turned himself into a completely different player with Indiana than he did when he was with the Knicks. He's almost out the league.
True.
Yeah, but his defense is terrible. But
still awful. Still.
All right, fellas. I'm gonna put this back up, and I just want to hear anything that you guys have. Thoughts, concerns, questions, positive thoughts, negative thoughts, anything on these standings right now.
Philly are locking in. I'm trying to. Philly are locking in, man. No one should want to see Philadelphia. No, Embiid, you can clearly see he's not. Embiid's not like 100%. You can see it in terms of like game shape and actually able to go for.
It's obvious, Mars. It is obvious.
But you still can't stop him in the 24 minutes he can give you, where he's still clearly gassed. You can't stop him.
Yeah, like 31. Reason, I think 31.
Yeah, like 31 in like 24 minutes or something.
That's crazy.
I think I've seen something where he's played 84 minutes since he's been back and he scored 83 points.
That's crazy.
But for whatever reason, the league changed how they were calling free throws, like around like the All-Star break. Embiid comes back, doesn't affect him. He's still getting to the line. So he just got it like that. You can't. Maxey has started showing signs of self-creation at the right time. That's very impressive.
Give it up, Mars, because you was not on. You was not on the self-creation.
He's showing it. He's showing it. He's showing it.
Right, you gotta give that up though, Mars.
I'm not. If he's showing it, I'm not gonna be like standing on something that he's clearly shown that he's doing now. He's showing signs of self-creation.
What is he doing now though? That's a little different from what he was. Like what's moving you with his self-creation?
The mid-range is definitely what's moving me. His ability to play in between. Before it was you come off that screen, that dribble handoff, you're trying to get all the way to the rim or do a floater, or you're trying to come off that screen, going to your left, and you're hitting that three. Now, maybe because Embiid wasn't there out of necessity, he's having to go to that mid-range.
That's what I was telling y'all, that this was the best thing that could happen for Philly.
And that's possible. He's having to do more. Now he's playing in the mid-range more, because before, like, I was seeing very little in that regard. I still think there's times where it's questionable, but I think he's given you enough to where you have Embiid back. I think you live with it. I think you're comfortable with what Max is able to do now. Now Tobias Harris.
Oh man, Toby.
But DeAnthony Melton will be back soon, I think. I like Buddy Hield for them. Kelly Oubre brings.
He hasn't even been playing Buddy Hield like that though.
I think some of that might be because trying to integrate someone is difficult, but also Buddy Hield's defense is not very good either, and Nick Nurse likes defense. But
understandable. My thing with that, right quick, Mars. My thing with that, and even like, okay, so you got Buddy Hield. I'm gonna use Buddy Hield and Bogdanovich for example. You know what you're getting from these guys on both ends. You're getting elite shooting, and if they get hot, you're getting a guy that's gonna in 10 minutes they're gonna give you about 9 to 12 points. So you're dealing with a microwave, but you also are dealing with a guy that you know that you're gonna give up something on defense, and they're gonna pick on him on defense. But you got to take the good with the bad. Like the Knicks, for instance, you got to take whatever offense you can get. Like you can't complain about offense. You got all the defense in the world, but you got to take all the offense you can get. If Bogdanovich can come give you 12 points and a half, you need that. On the other end, with Philly, it's kind of like Buddy Hield is a difference maker, especially with Joel on the floor. How you can't help. You cannot help. And if Buddy comes and gives you 4 threes and a half, that's a difference maker immediately.
But he can also go 0 for 6. He can also go 0 for 6, and that's the life of a shooter. That's the life of a shooter.
Nah, for sure.
But that still opens up the. I mean, yeah, you got missed shots, but that still opens up the offense. I mean,
yeah, if teams are
right,
still
you have
reluctant
to
to leave
respect
you,
it.
if teams are still reluctant to leave you, or they're closing out, because that's a treatment that some players on the team aren't going to get. But would you rather have what Buddy brings you, or what Kelly Oubre brings you in terms of defensive tenacity, ability to switch, transition, get into the rim, all those things that Buddy
don't you have both?
It's about being able to use what you like. Only 5 people can be on the court at the same time.
Right.
And Bede and Maxey are guarantees. They're going to have to be out there. Tobias Harris, whether we like it or not, is going to be out there. So that's 3 people taking up spots. So then the last 2 spots, are you going with Kelly and Buddy? Are you bringing back DeAnthony Melton when he's back, knowing what he brings defensively? Are you then going with Nicholas Batum, who Nick Nurse really likes to play? Nicholas Batum, high IQ guy, can still play team defense, all of those things. Kyle Lowry is another option.
That's the one that I'm talking about right there,
Where does
Mark.
Buddy Hield fit?
It's not Kelly Oubre. It's not DeAnthony Melton. Because for Kelly Oubre and DeAnthony Melton, I get it. Your minutes might get shrunk, Buddy Hield. It's Kyle Lowry for me. No knock to Kyle Lowry. He's a great player. He's very smart. But at this point, it's like, Kyle, I don't think what you bring supersedes what Buddy brings.
But Nick Nurse is comfortable with Kyle Lowry. He's been with Kyle Lowry. He won a ring with Kyle Lowry.
That's true. That's true.
That's right. Also,
I forgot all about that.
But this ain't the same Kyle Lowry. Nick Nurse trying to lose if he plays Kyle Lowry all those minutes. I'm going with Buddy and Kelly. I'm going with Buddy and Kelly together, and we're gonna rock with that. But obviously, as we all know, nobody's gonna play 48 minutes, so we just rotate them. But I like that lineup though. I like Tyrese, Buddy, Kelly, Tobias, and Joel. I'm going with that. But real quick, I want to go back a second, Mars. I want to go back a second, real quick, Mars. I'm not going to take too much of your time. Chilton, you know when you say something and Mars gets that look and it's that one when he be like, when Mars gets to doing that, and then you know when Low gets to doing that.
Here we go.
When I'm trying to tell y'all, give Tyrese Maxey the ball. Let Tyrese rock. The offense needs to go with Tyrese.
Man, you were right 7 months later. Like I don't. At the time I was saying he couldn't self-create. He wasn't self-creating. Now he's doing it. I'm not gonna still harp on it because he's still doing it. Now, am I 1,000% convinced in the playoffs when teams are scheming for him and you're gonna take away those DHOs and you're not gonna be helping one pass away? Is he still gonna look as great? I'll wait and see. But I have more signs for optimism now than I have before. So I'm giving him his credit for that, for sure.
But hold up though, Ox. You can't act like that didn't sound crazy. 7 months ago in the playoffs last year, when you were saying this was right after the playoffs, they still had Joel Embiid, they had Tobias Harris and James Harden. You saying run the offense through Tyrese Maxey?
All Ox did was expand what I said when I said I'm comfortable letting James Harden walk out the front door and giving the ball to Maxey. Ox took it a step further and said, let's run the offense through Maxey. I wasn't prepared to go that far. No, I wasn't doing that.
100%.
But I was comfortable letting James Harden walk out the front door and giving the ball to Maxey. I was cool with that. And it worked.
It is good right now.
You're still not
Because
running.
I was like, it speeds it up. Let's.
Yeah, but hold on, but you're not running the offense through Maxey when Embiid's on the court. Yeah, he had that great game against the Spurs, but it's still the Spurs. Like you understand, like Maxey was doing a lot of that self-creation, getting you buckets against bad teams, but against Boston, Cleveland, I mean Milwaukee, he could probably do his thing because that guard defense in Milwaukee is terrible. But I still think you still run the offense through Embiid, and then Maxey, when he plays around that, doesn't force it. But when he's given better opportunities because Embiid's on the court, is when he really thrives. I think it's Milwaukee. It's a great matchup. I think against Milwaukee, he could give you 30 a night just because that backcourt defense with Malik Beasley, Damian Lillard out there, he's going to cook them every single time. But against Boston and Cleveland, it's going to have to be Embiid who does most of the work and then really kind of.
But Jalen, don't you want Tyrese? I want Tyrese being aggressive against everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because Joel gonna get his. Joel's one of those players like I'm gonna get mine regardless. There's always those players. Like we don't have to necessarily ride this horse. You know what I'm saying? This horse gonna be at the finish line regardless. You know what I mean? So go. I want Tyrese being aggressive, getting up more shots than we expect. You know what I'm saying? I want him doing that. And I think that especially being pressured, like how you just mentioned, we got some backcourts in the East that aren't really the defensive minds that we think they are. I think besides Boston, I want Tyrese. I think Tyrese eats up.
I think Philly
Respect
could
to
definitely
Orlando.
beat Milwaukee. Like Milwaukee,
who?
effectively could definitely.
Orlando's defense in the backcourt. Orlando played.
I want him attacking. I like Jalen Suggs.
Ox, I feel like
That's as far as I'm going. I like Jalen Suggs.
Ox, I feel like you're that family member that's waiting for that one family member to just figure it out. And that's kind of how I feel like you are with Tobias Harris. Like, yo, eventually he's gonna get it. Eventually he's gonna
no.
Instead of just
You've given up. You've given up.
Has it been like a decade with Tobias? I mean,
Right,
Tobias is a vet,
this
man.
So
is
basically,
who
what
he
you're
is.
saying is, I'm out.
This is who he is, B. This is him, right?
Ever since you met me, Chill, I've been saying this about Tobias Harris. Please get him off my TV screen. I'm so fed up with Tobias Harris. I can't stand it. It hurts. It hurts how tired I am in him.
36 million. But I wanted to say,
Get that money, Toby.
I really like the Sixers rookie council. I think his name is.
Yeah,
he looks good. I don't know like why he doesn't play more or whatever. Maybe it's because he's a rookie. But when I see him, he looks good. I think he's a good player.
That Philly got a deep team. I don't think we talk about how deep their roster is. And I want to take it a step further. Ox, when you was talking about Tyrese Maxey being aggressive, I want to not necessarily speed the tempo up, but I want guys like Tyrese Maxey to push the tempo as much as you can. Kelly Oubre, run the floor. Buddy Hield, run the floor and try to get transition threes. I want to try to get fast offense so we can possibly speed it up. So Joel Embiid, you don't really got to come up the floor every time. Just stay back there, and we can get some early quick buckets. And if they slow us down, then it's like, all right, Joel, come, let's get in our half court offense, post up, let's get something slow, and then go. But I think if those guys can speed it up, it actually helps Joel. And also too, the Sixers got crazy depth in the backcourt. They got obviously Tyrese Maxey. They got Kelly Oubre. They got Buddy Hield. But then they got other guys too. They got Kyle Lowry. DeAnthony Melton's coming back. They still got Cameron Payne as well. They have
Cameron Payne. Relax, man.
I mean, Cameron Payne played in the playoffs. What, the last like 5 years on
He was
continuing
garbage. He was one of the main reasons why.
Yeah,
Chris
like
Paul
play in that game.
Yo, when Cameron Payne is bad, he is bad. Like there is no middle ground with him. When he's bad, bro, it's ugly. How do y'all feel about Paul Reed though? How was Paul Reed to y'all? Y'all like Paul or what?
I like him as a backup.
Paul Reed's getting like 5 minutes a game at most. I
don't know. Me and
play more than that.
Me and Mars watched Paul Reed when Embiid was off the floor, put 30 on Joker. So wait a minute.
We did see that.
Wait a minute. We might see something different come playoff time.
Now defensively, there's obviously major question marks, but he can be a spark off the bench when you need to give Embiid some rest. It would help if Mo Bamba wasn't just a complete liability on the basketball court.
Get Mo Bamba off the floor, Mars. Get Mo Bamba.
I like Mohamed Bamba.
No.
For what? For his song?
He misses assignments. He doesn't even know how to play zone.
He's just tall.
Bob likes him for his theme song. That's it.
It has to be.
Mo Bamba is really one of them big for nothing dudes. Yeah, that's who he is. That's who he is, Ox. He one of them big for nothing dudes. He can't really figure out he doesn't understand zone defense, which is real simple. All you gotta do is go to area. That's it. He can't do that. He doesn't rebound as much as he should, considering the athlete that he is. One-on-one defense, forget it. He's gonna foul almost every time. I don't know what I'm doing. Get Mobamba on the floor. Get Mobamba.
If you're 7 foot and can walk and run like a regular person, the NBA will give you a shot. He has
you get last season 7 foot. He's got like 17% chance of being in the league. I've been said if I was Mo Bamba's height, I promise I'm in that 17%. I'll take his job. He not good.
Y'all, this is the perfect time for me to go ahead and tell everybody to slap that like button if you haven't. We will be back. It was no games last night, but it is some games tonight that we will be on playback streaming. Well, in specific, it will be the man, the myth, the legend himself, Chilltown Hoops. We'll be on playback watching the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors game. I'm gonna get back to this game in a second because
Lakers playing. I might jump out with you, Chill. Lakers are playing.
We know what's going on with this game. But before we talk about that game, I want to tell everybody, become a member if you haven't. You can type in the chat. I know some people that can't type in the chat right now. Well, if you want to be able to do that, just become a member for $1.99 and you'll be able to jump in the chat with the rest of the intelligent people in here and the goofy people in there as well. Also, it's a QR code right down there below, Chill. If you scan that, you'll be able to go to www.playerschoicemerch.com and you'll be able to get good stuff like, well, this shirt right here and some of the other gear that you may see these other intelligent brothers up here rocking. Well, for the meantime, we don't have no super chats, but we do have some new members. I got my man Ryan Jones. He became a member today. In War Room also became a member today. So shout out to them too. They did their job today. The rest of you guys do your job as well. Like the video. We'll continue to do our job up here. But first, let's talk about this Lakers-Warriors game tonight. How do we see that going?
It's going to be Lakers.
Who's at home?
Let me see. Is this still matinee basketball right here?
Lakers. I think it's in Los Angeles.
Is this still a primetime game like it used to be?
Anytime it's LeBron versus Steph, the NBA gonna market it like it's one.
Yeah,
it still carries weight.
I think it's the Lakers.
Lakers at home.
Mm-hmm. And it still has a lot of kind of playoff implications in terms of seeding, right? It's still a big game for both. So definitely a good matchup. I think the Lakers, when everyone's healthy, they've still been one of the hottest teams in the league the past 12 games or so. I think D'Lo been hooping great. He's been stepping up. Anthony Davis had been playing phenomenal. He had to lead the last game. When LeBron's out there, he's going to be LeBron. Rui, I think, is finding his shot. I think the Lakers are getting hot at the right time, even though they're coming off a loss. LeBron wasn't there. So I expect the Lakers to take care of business here, win by 10, 12 points. I think the Warriors are fine, too. I think they're kind of playing better, too. I think Klay Thompson's kind of found his shot a little bit, getting his groove back. Kuminga can still get you 20 points in some nights. He doesn't need the ball, but he always finds his shot when he needs to within the offense. Steph's going to be Steph. Draymond, when he doesn't get tossed, is still fine. So I think both teams, again, getting hot at the right time, playing well, should be a good game. But give me the Lakers here.
For those who don't know, the Lakers are 8-2 in their last 10 games, and the Warriors are 7-3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the seeding has tricked people into thinking like the Lakers and Warriors are bad teams. I came to the conclusion yesterday, just randomly thinking, if the Lakers were in the East, they'd be the number 2 seed. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm certain they'd be the number 2 seed. Not record-wise.
I get what you're saying. Okay, I get what you're saying.
If record-wise, they're actually only 2.5 games back of the Bucks, who are the 2 seed. But if they had to play the Eastern Conference competition more than the West, and they had to play the Hawks and the Nets and the Raptors and the Hornets and the Wizards and the Pistons as much as they would in the East, they'd be the number 2 seed. And people will be viewing them as contenders. But because they're in the West and they're the 9 seeds, they get overlooked. Same thing with the Warriors. I think the Warriors would be a top 3 seed in the East too. That's just how strong the Western Conference is, that the 10 seed in the West, I think, would be a top 3 seed in the East. And we'd be viewing them completely differently just based on that alone. I think the Lakers now have more wins than they did last year, and they're the 9 seed. And I think the Warriors have 1 less win than they did last year. Last year they were the 6 seed. This year they're the 10 seed. So it's not like they've fallen off. And if anything, you could argue the Warriors are better than they were last year. But Draymond Green suspensions and all of those things they went through is why they're not. Right. Their record isn't indicating that, and their seeding. But the West is just so strong that we're viewing the 9 seed as, they're a 9 seed, when in reality they're better than most teams that are locked in the playoffs in the East. So I think that's just interesting to me.
I got a hypothetical for you guys.
Like the Indiana Pacers.
What happens if the Lakers and the Warriors both make the playoffs?
Oh, the Lakers get the 8 seeds, so
Yeah, or the Lakers get the 7th seed, Warriors get the 8th seed.
One of them top 2 seeds going home. We'll start there.
Yeah, it depends on who gets the 2. I think
whoever plays the Lakers would lose.
Yeah, one of them top 2
It's
seeds.
not going to be
is going
Denver. I'm
home.
assuming it's Minnesota.
Right.
I'm assuming it's Minnesota.
Yeah.
Denver's
One of them top 2 seeds is going home early.
The Lakers beat Minnesota.
yes. I think Golden State beats Minnesota too. I'm just not really high on Minnesota.
I'm less comfortable saying that.
Relax.
But
No,
I do have the
no.
Lakers.
I'm not doing that. I like that matchup between the Lakers and Minnesota.
And I think that Lakers Denver series won't be a sweep this year. If D'Lo can continue to play the way he does, and I just think Jamal Murray, I still want to see how
they'll win a game. Ooh.
And I don't know, man. Look, if they end up playing against each other, I really might pick the Lakers.
We literally just said this, Jalen. I just said this yesterday. Why are we so quick to assume that Jamal Murray, who's been in and out of the lineup, is just going to come back rolling?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Why?
The level he was playing at last year was crazy, phenomenal.
Right.
Was he going to reach that again? Like, if he does, all the power to you, Jamal. You're him. If you reach that again, I get it. That's phenomenal. But there'll be such a tough task to play the way he did last year. Jokic will be Jokic. You know what I mean? Aaron Gordon going to be Aaron Gordon. Cut to the basket. Jokic's going to find him. Michael Porter Jr., I think, hit his shots. But to me, Jamal Murray is a big question mark. And again, the way I don't think D'Lo plays as bad as he did last year. D'Lo looked like the worst player on the court. He was getting benched. And the way he's been hooping this year.
That's because Bruce Brown took him out of the series.
So you question if Jamal Murray can replicate his past.
I get it, and I'm expecting D'Lo.
But you have no doubts that D'Lo is going to step up when all he's shown you in the playoffs is
the doubts are there. Yes, he's the notorious playoff dropper. Completely understand that.
Well, wait a minute though. Hold on, Omar.
He got different energy to him.
If you think about him in the Memphis series, he was actually really good in that series. Okay. You think about him in the Warriors series, he was really good in that series. Also, he got taken out of the Denver series by Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown got in his head. Bruce Brown got the yapping. That completely threw his shot off. He basically attacked him on defense and took him out of the series. That didn't happen against that boy. That didn't happen against Memphis. That didn't happen against the Warriors. His shot was going, not only and when you get a guy like D'Angelo Russell, not just D'Angelo Russell, when you get guys who only do one thing, which D'Angelo Russell primarily is a bucket getter. He's not that much of a distributor. He's not going to defend. So if that one thing you're not doing, if that one thing you do, if you're not doing it, you're kind of useless on the floor. And that's what ultimately happened against Denver because he got taken out of the series mentally. So if he couldn't score, okay, he's not going to rebound. He's not going to lock down defensively. He's not an elite distributor. So why is he out here? They couldn't do that with him against Memphis. They couldn't do that with him against the Warriors. So there's no reason for me to think that he can't be good in these playoffs without guys like Bruce Brown around.
I'm not arguing whether or not he can be good. I just find it funny that you're going to believe in D'Lo, but then question Jamal Murray, which is what Jalen's trying to do. That's what I'm like.
That's insane.
Like, okay. Like, that's just biased towards the Lakers.
This is a little fan bias. I just want to say the stats from last year. Look at them now. D'Lo gave the Lakers, they go back, 6 points a game on 13% shooting from 3 points, 37% from the field. Jamal Murray gave Denver 32, 6, and 5 on 2% from the field. And I want to say LeBron as a 3-point shooter this year, the improvement as a shooter, I think also helps the Lakers this year. Throughout the playoffs, I think that'll be a big thing for them too. So I completely understand D'Lo, notorious playoff dropper. Jamal Murray, we've seen it now twice in the playoffs, actually in the bubble, and even last year, maybe in the series a year before that too, where he did rise. But again, 32, 6, and 5 on 52. Man, I don't know if I see that happening again.
Yo, I got a couple super chats before we jump over to the Eastern Conference. Luke, what's up?
Before you do that, am I out of line if I say that Anthony Davis needs goggles? Because you can't come out the game getting hit in the face, yo. You can't. And it's okay to wear goggles. Jabbar wore goggles.
Just need a full mask.
Jabbar wore goggles.
He hit in the eye?
Yeah, he got hit he got hit right here. Slow-mo hit him in the face. This is twice now that he's going out of the lineup from getting hit in the face. Jabbar wore goggles. Olajuwon wore goggles. Horace Grant wore goggles. It's okay to wear goggles.
Scoot Henderson.
It's okay to wear goggles, B. It is all right. And I don't think that it's going to affect his game that much. They can put some fitted goggles on you because we can't have him getting hit in the face and he's done for the night. That can't happen.
Well, maybe that's Draymond's plan for tonight. Maybe that's Draymond's plan for tonight.
I wouldn't put that past him, honestly.
Yeah, that's genuinely. Maybe that's Draymond's plan for tonight.
Getting hit in the face, unless it's like, what do you call this? I forget what it's called. The
oral ball.
Yeah. If you break, like, you get hit there and you break like one of those, like that's serious. They believe in dents in people's faces. Like, I understand that, but coming out just by getting hit anywhere in the face is kind of crazy. But like getting hit in the eyes, I can 100% like, you got if you get hit in the eyeball, you got every right to sit in.
Right, absolutely. I can't see. I got poked in the eye. That's why I got no problem with maybe Anthony Davis. We might need to look to look into some goggles.
Is that like preventative measures you're talking about?
Yes, exactly. Because he didn't get hit the last game. He didn't get poked in the eye. Slow-mo hit him here, and it was a reoccurring injury, Ox. It wasn't just he got hit in the face and that was the end of it. That had happened before, and he just re-aggravated the eye injury. That's all that was. So I'm thinking to myself,
I didn't even know what happened.
I'm just thinking to myself, yo, maybe we might want to get this dude some goggles.
All right, chat. I ran a poll right now asking what does AD need to get through the playoffs. Y'all go ahead and vote and let us know what can get him through the playoffs.
I mean, wait, he's been great this year, though. I'm not questioning AD's being on the court this year. He's been phenomenal this year.
Yes.
And shout out Adam Silver. That 65 game thing really worked. Like a lot
it actually did. We haven't talked about that. It actually did.
Got to give him his credit.
I mean, did it? Did it?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
We're not complaining about the guy sitting.
Got healthy this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think guys are just playing more because of that rule, 100%.
That's in your contract. Yo, if I make the all-pro team, that's an extra $500,000. If I make the all-star team, if I make the all-league defensive team, that's another $500,000, another $1 million. Because not every year that I make the all-pro team does that mean that I'm getting max money. Because my contract, I might just be a year into my new contract. So that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm automatically getting 30-something million or 40-something million. No, but if I'm playing this much, that is in my contract. If we make the playoffs, if I play a certain amount of games, if I make the all-star team, if I make the all-pro team, these are incentives in my contract. And I'm trying to reach those. So, and on top of that, it's going to be a narrative that you really don't want to hear that, this dude made the all-pro team. So guess what? He's better than you. He's better than you. So some dudes don't want to hear that. I'm pretty sure Anthony Davis doesn't want to hear that Julius Randle making an all-pro team again for the third time. He better than you. Like, hold on. No, let's chill out on that. Hang on.
All right, y'all. I got these super chats. Go ahead. I got these super chats. Zero just vibing said, I think conferences would be more competitively better if the league was split north and south. Using Colorado and New Mexico as the divide could be weird, though. How we feel about this?
It's already split. It's east and west.
I mean, why would it be more competitive?
North and south is more travel.
Aren't there teams in the Western Conference who should be in the Eastern Conference geographically?
Which, by the way, something actually was brought to my attention, and with the addition of Seattle coming into the league when they expand, and maybe Vegas, that means that some teams in the West got to move.
Memphis and New Orleans.
Yeah, they're the easternmost teams, right?
So it's Memphis and New Orleans that's going to move to the east.
I would think so. Yeah, Memphis and New Orleans, maybe Minnesota, right?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking Minnesota. Minnesota's closer to Chicago.
It would have to be two of those three. Two of those three. Memphis, New Orleans, or Minnesota.
Memphis is like for sure. I'm pretty sure Memphis is like
let's think this out though, fellas. It's already messed up anyways. We could just go ahead and put Seattle in the East.
No, we're not doing that, Ron.
That's crazy.
You can put us in the East, like
no, you do it.
It'll be all right. We're used to the travel. We ducked up in the Pacific
might be the
Northwest.
most westernmost team I've ever seen.
They are
100% the most western.
They are.
them or Portland. Like, come on, Ron.
I'm just saying, in the first year, we might be able to grab that 10th seed. Who knows? Like,
no.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, right. You trying to duck? You ducking smoke?
What's wrong with that?
And it's not now.
We'll take the extra travel.
It's not the first time, because if y'all remember, in the inaugural season, Miami was in the Western Conference. I know that's nuts to say that, but
I didn't know.
Yes, Miami was in the Western Conference when they first came into the league, which is
See,
goofy.
history repeats itself.
Yeah,
That's
which is
crazy.
super goofy.
But to that super chat though, like going north and south would be crazy because then Portland has to play New York. It's the travel thing. Like I didn't know travel was such a big deal with all the money the NBA has, but since it is, you can't have Portland in Boston playing.
Ron, what division you putting them in? You putting them in the Metro division with Toronto and Philly and the Knicks and Brooklyn? What we doing, Ron?
Let me see. Hold on. I'll tell you exactly what division we're
What
in.
the heck? Are we putting them in the Southeast division with Atlanta and Orlando and
Oh
Miami?
yeah, that's the division. No. We want the Central Division.
So we putting them in the same division with Indiana and Milwaukee and Chicago and Detroit. We putting them in that division?
Nah, Southeast. Definitely Southeast. We'll just have to deal with the Heat when we deal with the Heat.
Hell no.
And then the thing about it is Paulo's gonna come home anyway, so you know how that goes.
Damn, so you think y'all gonna get a team and you're getting Paulo too?
There's no way Paulo's in that draft, Ron. Like Orlando.
No.
That's the first move.
As a free agent.
He's not gonna sign an extension. He'll eventually find his way up here.
Orlando was like, don't even look over here for him.
Like that's the first guy. That's the first guy they're stamping. Like, no,
we think SJ's coming to Toronto. Come on home, even though he's technically not from Canada, at least. But come on home,
hey, dude in the chat, Tay Luke, they just signed the NBA just signed the new collective bargaining agreement just last season. So the next one isn't for 10 years.
Yo, I do want to say though that expansion draft, I'm excited to see what that looks like because it's gonna be for 2 teams, right?
Assuming 2 teams join, yeah.
Vegas and Seattle, right?
Yeah. And how many players can each team protect?
7.
That's gonna be crazy, and then seeing how teams rework their roster too after their players get taken off their roster. It's gonna be interesting.
That's what I'm thinking about. I wonder who's gonna get those coaching jobs though. Like, because like especially after an expansion draft, you're gonna need a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
The return of Mike D'Antoni.
Oh, here he comes. Here he comes, Ox. He's coming back up to the Pacific Northwest. Mike D'Antoni up in Seattle.
If Doc Rivers is available, if Rivers is available, he'll probably get a job.
For a situation like this, I'm really not mad at Mike D'Antoni. Like, we're just going to speed it up. We're going to play fast.
Exciting basketball.
That's what they want in Vegas. They need that exciting basketball.
Yep.
No,
I'd rather Boonhoser. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Nah, man, bring Mike D'Antoni to the Climate Pledge Arena, man. Let's make it happen.
Becky Hammond, she might finally get that head coaching gig.
Yeah, right.
Which, by the way,
she good with the Aces, man. She won the championships. Leave Becky alone.
I think I just heard the Lindsey Harding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She just got it.
She
just got an interview. She just got an interview with who was that? She got it with Charlotte. I don't want to hear that. You know why I don't want to hear that? Don't tell me that. Okay, we talked to her. Hire her. I don't want to hear you telling me, well, we talked to her and we're interested. Hire her or don't. But don't tell me that you talked to her. Because what you sound like is them dudes in the NFL with the Rooney Rule, where we got to talk to you and we got to tell everybody that we talked to you. If she's a good coach, don't tell me that you talked to her. Tell me that you hired her. I don't want to hear that nonsense.
Well, that's what it is.
I don't think you can hire her when you have Miles Bridges on your roster, but that's just my.
Man.
Wow. My thing is, I hope they don't hire her. I hope Charlotte does not hire Lindsey Harding.
Why? Because you want her to come back and coach a G League team?
You think it's a bad situation?
Because the Charlotte Hornets suck, Ron. And if she goes there, it's going to be one of those situations where everybody from the outside looking in is going to be like, see, we knew she couldn't coach in the NBA. Like, no, we don't. I don't want that situation for Lindsey Harding. That's terrible. That's terrible.
LaMelo's gonna be back and healthy. Brandon Miller, year 2 development.
Talk to him,
Mark Williams will be back. That's a nice little quote.
They're gonna re-sign Bridges. I think they're gonna re-sign Bridges.
Yep. Vasily Mitchell's off the bench.
Trey
getting a little better.
If you believe in Poku, that's what.
I mean, he's just getting a little stronger, Morris.
If you believe in Poku, I guess.
Hey, but not for real. I really do believe that they're the Hornets take a jump next year. Especially, I mean, obviously we know LaMelo playing makes a difference, but I think this year 2 gap that Brandon Miller is going to fill, I think that does a lot for them. I think he looks completely different next year.
He gets hurt again, Ron. I'm out. He gets hurt again. I'm out.
Yeah,
he keeps wearing those Puma shoes.
Yeah, he gets hurt
Yeah,
again.
that's what
around
LeVar said, right? That it's the shoes that
Yeah.
and the training of these NBA teams is wrong. He's not running hills. and
Well, I feel him on the hills though. Like getting on those sand dunes, running those hills, that's serious, but that really gets you legs of steel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ankles, calves, knees, thigh, all of it, hips, everything. That's those sand dunes. That ain't no joke. Now, I don't know if the shoes are the problem. I don't know that, but I do know that during the offseason, you get on those heels, you come back a different than you left. That's a fact.
I got a super chat from Payne, y'all. Payne said, y'all have to stop sleeping on MPJ. He should have been a top 5 pick if it wasn't for his back, and he is fully healthy.
And
he was my number 2 pick that year.
Yeah, no, he was a huge, big prospect, and then the back injuries definitely held him back.
I still would have. I would have took him number 2. I think I've said that before on here. I would have took him number 2. But
I still don't think he self-creates much. It's still a lot of catch and shoot.
he doesn't. He's still. You can see he's not what he used to be because
Yeah.
back injuries are serious.
Once you
but
have
I
a
still
couple
would've
back
took the risk.
injuries.
Yeah, I still would have took the risk. So I've said that, I wouldn't regret it either. Even though he's clearly not the second best player from that class, it's Shea. But I still would have took him number 2.
So you taking him over Marvin Bagley, Mars?
MPJ was my second pick. It was Luka number 1. MPJ was 2. Yeah.
Over Ayton.
Yep.
Trey Young.
Jaren Jackson. Yep. I had
Good.
MPJ.
Mo
number 1.
Bamba, Wendell Carter, Colin Sexton.
That's an amazing draft,
Shea.
too. I love that draft class.
MPJ was the number 1 rated high school prospect of that draft. He
Yeah.
was rated high.
MPJ was a
That was
lot.
before he broke his back, though,
And
Jalen.
I mean, an absolute lock to go number 1. Even when he hurt his back, he was still a lock to go number 1. It wasn't until it was just lingering.
Then he started talking to the NBA teams, and they still seen he had back issues going into the draft process, and it was like, okay, yeah, this is
I
concerning.
think he only played 6 games. I think he only played 6 games at Missouri.
Missouri,
That first
yeah,
year.
yeah.
He only
Something
played
like
like 6 games that year.
What he said messed him up. He came back to play in the tournament, and he re-messed up his draft. I mean, his back. He was trying to obviously improve his stock for the draft and let people know that he was healthy and still could play. He rushed himself back, and he went back and said it. It was just him being young and impatient and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's what you got parents for. You know what I'm saying? Listen to your parents, man.
Parents, your advisory team.
Sit your ass down.
Yeah, a lot of people around you. We should have just been like, hey, you don't have to risk it. You'll get drafted.
Yo, we got a group chat on Telegram that you can join right now. It's pinned to the top of the chat. All of us are in the group chat, amongst other people. A lot of these goofies in the chat that be in there, other panelists, and we have a ball in there. Day in and day out, 24/7. Be sure to join if you want to join the conversation. Football and basketball. It's a lot of different categories in there. And
Bro, my
What
free
was it
trial
that
ended. Ron, hit me up. Hook me up, man. My free trial ended.
You guys got Jalen
Yeah,
struggling. Oh my god.
Talk to him, Mars. Talk to him.
Jalen, you really not in the chat?
I swear my free trial ended. They're like, you out of here.
All right, well, I'm gonna run a poll right now. Should Jalen get inducted back into the chat?
Talk about it. Do me right,
Chat
chat.
for
Do
sure
me
knows
right.
the answer on this one. This has to be a clear no. What are we talking about?
Get Jalen off the floor.
At
Get
Jalen.
I was ready. I was on my. I think I was looking for a chat once. I was like, where'd it go? It's out of here. I was on my Diana Taurasi hating on Caitlin Clark. The jealousy in her eyes and hate was crazy that game. She was hoping every shot was missing. It was crazy.
They just beat UConn, Jalen. That's not jealousy. Why would Diana Taurasi be jealous of Caitlin
You know why?
Clark?
You know why? Because all the eyeballs are on her. Diana feels like she's such a star player. She should have got the same look. But guess what? You're not bringing in the eyes that Caitlin Clark is bringing. She's not making the money Caitlin Clark was making back in the day. That's what.
See, this is why we don't want Jalen in the Telegram group. This is why we don't want Jalen in the Telegram group.
Nobody was making that money. But let's not. We know who Diana Taurasi. We know who Diana Taurasi is, Jalen. Can we stop this?
Did you see the hate and jealousy oozing out of the tone of her voice,
look,
eyes?
your team. Look, when this team
on.
beats the team you play for, you're supposed to hate her.
It's not that.
competitive.
It's
competitive, Jalen. She's supposed to hate her. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm so sick of everybody acting like basketball and sports supposed to be some kumbaya. I love you. Man, fuck all that.
It ain't no kumbaya.
Diana Taurasi does not like her. She's a direct competitor. I hate her. Yes, that's what she's supposed to feel.
It don't have to be kumbaya, but it's about, hey, this girl could really take your league to the next level. She can do for the WNBA what Tiger Woods did for golf, what Michael Jordan did for the NBA. Caitlin Clark could do that for the WNBA, but instead of embracing that and understanding that, hey, you make her the face, the money going to trickle down, and everyone going to You're gonna
That's
start
cool.
hating on
That's
this girl.
cool.
Like
That's
she ain't gonna be
cool,
good
gentlemen, but
enough.
that's still-
She ain't gonna be
we're
cooking
still,
out
still
there.
competitors. Her saying this is not gonna stop Caitlin Clark from doing anything. It's not gonna
That's fine,
stop.
but why the hate though?
Hold on,
NBA
gentlemen.
players
It
were hating
doesn't
on Wemby.
because hold on, gentlemen, because it doesn't nothing. No matter what, Caitlin Clark is still gonna go to the WNBA. And if you think she's gonna be the Tiger Woods or the Michael Jordan of it, that's cool. Whatever Diana Taurasi says about her is not gonna change any of that. But that doesn't mean Diana Taurasi is supposed to be like, oh, I love. No, she's not supposed to be. Diana Taurasi is still in the WNBA. This is a competitor to her. She went to UConn. She is a competitor. That's a competitor. I do not like you. I'm not supposed to like you. I love what you're doing for the sport, all that, but I don't have to like, I don't want you to make these shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, why?
You don't have to like her, whatever. Yeah, you have to like her, but at least embrace her. Understand what she can do for the league. Be like, hey, this girl's really her. Just like NBA did with Wemby, though. They're not here hating on Wemby. They really giving him his love. Oh, Wemby, he's the truth. He's really going to be the future. They're showing love. That same love is a gift to Caitlin Clark. It's not just Diana. It's a lot of these WNBA vets that are really hating. And again, it's the jealousy that she's getting all this attention and love that they never received. So they're hating. Like, hey, I'm better than her. It's fine. You can think you're better than her. As an athlete competitor, that's fine. But you don't have to hate on her and always diminish what she's doing, act like she's not going to do that there. That's what it is.
So was Breonna Stewart hating on her when she said that she has to win a title in order to be the legend in NC2A? Was that hate from Breonna Stewart?
I mean, if that's her opinion, that's fine. I don't think necessarily hate.
So she's allowed to have an opinion. That's not hate.
No. It's to me, Diana. It was the tone. It was a little bit of the eye rolls. It was the way she
didn't say it the way you
wanted
to say.
No. It's not.
Maybe Diana Taurasi feels like Diana Taurasi feels like I would have cooked Caitlin Clark, which she would have. And there's nothing wrong with her feeling that way.
That's fine. Look, I think Candace Parker was better in college than Caitlin Clark. I'm not saying this had nothing to do with that. I'm just saying the way these WNBA players are hating on her because of all the attention she's getting, it's very noticeable. Especially some of these legends too. There was a legend the other day. She just got inducted, I think, to her State Hall of Fame. Talking like her college. I think it was her talking about, hey, my record still stands. There was no 3-point shot, this and that. It was a lot of hate towards Caitlin. You could have said, hey, Caitlin's great,
hate?
but my record. No, what's
it facts or is it hate?
It's the way.
It's not facts. Caitlin Clark has the record, so
yeah, she has the record. It's the way to say it though. There's a way to say it. The way she was saying it. Again, the tone, the body language, mannerism. It's hate and jealousy towards Caitlin Clark.
Well, I didn't play with a 3-point line. Come on, Lynette. Don't do that.
And you know what it is? We all know. You know Phil Mickelson. You know Phil Mickelson. Showtown, right? So he was like the second best golfer there. Tiger Woods. You know what he came out and said? It's literally like 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road. He's like, hey, Tiger, I want to thank you for making me hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yes!
He understands.
Hell yes!
Phil Mickelson was a top 5 paid athlete in the world for a decade. You know why? Because he was a great golfer, but because Tiger Woods brought the money there. Everybody in the WNBA is going to be able to eat and going to get some of the star power too because Caitlin's there. Embrace it. Stop hating and embrace it.
Ron, I can tell you right now, I'm not much of a golf guy, but I could tell you when Tiger Woods was going through what he was going through, if I was playing golf, I'm finding Tiger and I'm sitting down with him and I'm telling him straight up and straight down, my man, this is my phone number. Wherever you are, if you need me, wherever you are, if you're in trouble, call me. Because the grass is greener when you here. The sky is bluer when you here. The money is longer when you here. So you necessary. So whatever I need to do to make sure that you here, I'm down to do it. Because I'm not trying to hear you not being around. You necessary, bro. For real.
But also with that being said, if you know anything about Diana Taurasi, like that's just her mentality already.
Yeah.
She's always been like that. Diana Taurasi don't got too much good to say about anybody. So that's what I'm saying. It's not. I don't feel like Diana Taurasi was hating. I feel like that's just how Diana Taurasi is.
She was right though. She was right when she said that she's gonna struggle when she first comes to the league. She was right with that.
It's nothing wrong with that. Like by any means, or by no means.
Recently, Breonna Stewart is probably the only one that really came and just fat her and maybe Elena Deladon, but like. You know, that's because they're bigger, got all the same skill sets, and they're bigger. So
right.
I don't feel like Diana Taurasi. Maybe Diana Taurasi is just naturally, just if y'all want to call it a hater, but she been like that though. I don't think this is anything new just because it's Caitlin Clark. Like, there's no reason for Diana Taurasi to hate Caitlin Clark because she's bringing more eyes to the game. I think she's just a competitor. So you go to Iowa, I went to UConn. I don't got no love for you. You just beat my team. I don't got no love for you. You're coming to the WNBA. You think you're gonna come over and take over? I'm on my way out. So she might feel a little bit like you coming into my space. You're gonna take what's mine. I want to, I got something to say about that. There's nothing wrong with that. This is competitive. It's a competitive sport. This ain't no kumbaya. I love you type stuff. No, hell no. Like,
with that being said and done, though, has Caitlyn even mentioned anything about what she's going to do in the WNBA? Has Caitlyn alluded to, I'm about to go to the WNBA?
She don't talk crazy like that. She don't talk crazy like that.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if she never mentioned anything like that, then she didn't really necessarily have to bring that up. Even though I do believe she's right, it is going to be a transition period. She's not going to dominate the WNBA the same way she dominated college, and I think that's just obvious.
Every athlete, every college grade, yeah.
But I do want to say, I think it's a one-woman race to win Rookie of the Year next year.
I mean,
I think Caitlyn runs away with that with the Indiana Fever.
Look, I mean, like Paige will be great. Don't get me wrong. Paige is going to be great. I think the league obviously wants.
Paige is going back to school.
Oh, she's going back to school. Okay.
It's Cameron Brink and Angel Reese, right? They're going to the league.
Angel Reese,
Cardoza,
yeah,
Aaliyah Edwards.
Yeah, they're the only ones.
It's going to be one. It's going to be one of them.
Yeah. You see, they moved the game.
See, like this super chat right here. This super chat right here is a lie. NBA legends always respect the new generation.
Yeah, that's a cap. That's a cap. That's a cap.
Did y'all hear what they was talking? How they was talking about Braun in this way?
Yeah, but Braun was getting
his cap. Yeah, that's his cap. That's his cap.
That's not true.
But I will say, this generation NBA stars though, like the LeBron, Stephs, Durant, I think they really kind of embrace the new generation, want them to do well.
Well, we'll see. 20 years from now, when LeBron and Steph and KD are long gone, we'll see. We'll see how they talk. We'll see. Maybe they'll change. If there's a 4-point line, maybe Steph will be like, you know what, my record still stands, because I didn't have a 4-point line when I played. You know me, I would have made 1,000 4-point line. You don't know.
True.
So you can't say for sure.
Well, wait.
I think on top of that, I think a lot of people look at it different when it's women doing it. Like, oh, calm down, be a lady types. Nah, these women are competitors, bro. They're dogs too. Like, they're out there animals, just like men are the competitors against each other. I don't like him, especially on the court. Women are the same way.
Chicks do it too. Chicks do it too.
Probably even more. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to say that. Women get a little more. It's more tenacity. It's more
personal.
It's more personal. Let's put it that way. It's a lot more personal. I've seen it up close and personal. Women get nasty when it comes to like me against you. Like they don't play.
And you think because I'm older, like we just saw that super chat, we know that that's cap, but we know that that's nonsense. You think because I'm older, that competitive spirit goes away? I'm pretty sure Jerry West said in confidence, "I'll bust Trae Young ass." I'm sure he said that. I'm sure he said that. Right. I'm sure that I'm sure John Stockton has seen Tyrese Halliburton is like, "I'll bust his ass. He can't do nothing with me." I'm sure that's happened. So the fact that you get older, Diana Taurasi, like you just said, Big Ox, she on her way out. And Diana Taurasi is regarded. I don't know if you can name 5 WNBA players in history.
Some people say she's the GOAT. Some people say she's the GOAT.
Right. Some people say so. So now she's coming in, and that's competition. This is somebody who they're going to build the league around, who now they're going to start talking about her like they talk about Diana Taurasi potentially. As somebody that's carrying the league. And Diana Taurasi feels like her space is being threatened. And as a competitor, hold on. When you show up, you're going to have some explaining to do. It's just that simple.
And Diana Taurasi is not what you consider ladylike, if you will.
No,
you know what I'm saying? When everybody say, "Oh no, can't be." Diana Taurasi is not with that. She's talking big shit, like on the court, off the court. Thing I see about women though is like for men, like let's say if me and Ron playing, and I don't know him, like I don't know him yet, but I know of him. We on the court, and like say I get elbowed or something, I'm gonna be like, all right, we good. But off the court, it's whatever. Women, you hit me on the court, I hate you for life. Like, we're not friends anymore. Like I don't mess with you. I hate you.
I would say this is not just a Diana thing. I just think it's been a pattern of WNBA players who've consistently gone at Caitlin Clark. It's not just been her. She's just kind of been. I think I've had particular games. She was just very aggressive with it. But yeah, no. Shout out to NBA. Did you see that they're moving their game from the Aces versus the team that's going to draft Caitlin number 1? They moved them to an actual arena. To like a 18,000 person arena. So, hey, like they're expecting Caitlin Clark to really bring the numbers. So if WNBA starts filling up 18,000 person arenas, shout out Caitlin.
Can you imagine if Caitlin Clark
it's the hoop state of
being
Indiana.
the number 1 pick? Can you just imagine if Indiana Fever just don't take her number 1?
Mars, that
all this preparation for what?
Don't take her. Mars, that would have been like San Antonio passing on Wemby. That's what it would have been.
Is that what Caitlin Clark is? She's
But no, I'll tell you, Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA is bigger than LeBron and Wemby's impact on the NBA in terms of the sheer numbers, because NBA is still a huge.
But what if she's trash?
Oh yeah,
That's the other
I mean, if
part.
she ends up
She
being,
won't be trash.
if she ends up being trash, that's gonna be
She might
bad.
not be what people think she's gonna be, but she definitely won't be trash. Caitlin
But the
Clark
hype is
ball.
there, Mars. I don't know if you know this, Mars, but when she announced that she was putting her name in the draft, season tickets for the Indiana Fever went up 5,000.
That's because they assumed they were going to take her. Now what if they just don't?
But with that being said, let's not forget, because I read off these stats to y'all months, like at the end, before the season, at the end of the NBA
About the
WNBA
numbers,
season last year.
viewership numbers
The
and stuff.
Yeah, for the Aces,
Crazy.
the Aces numbers already skyrocketed. The Aces, this was before the Caitlin Clark thing. Like the Aces they already sold out all their season tickets. They already packed out 12,000 out there. You know what I'm saying? So the Aces, Caitlin Clark's not doing nothing for the Aces. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on.
All the rest of the WNBA, yeah, for sure. But the Aces, they already had their thing sold out. You know what I'm saying?
They do numbers, for WNBA. Like they're selling out 8,000 person venues, 9, but they're moving gamers to 12,000. Sorry, they're moving them to 18,000. Like that's a big jump.
I'm saying for that game, no doubt. I'm just saying overall for their season, though, the Aces are already doing it. Asia Wilson holding that down. But Caitlin Clark is definitely doing big things for the WNBA. That goes without a doubt. You cannot combat what she's doing for women's basketball. But Dana Taurasi is supposed to feel how she's supposed to feel.
Yeah. And South Carolina's coach, good on you to take that moment on stage to acknowledge it. Yeah, Dawn Staley. Sorry, I forgot her name. Dawn Staley. Absolute all the credit to you to be on that moment when you just won a championship, but give credit to Caitlin Clark and what she did for the league. Shows the type of character and person she is.
Why is it? I don't understand why we can't acknowledge that somebody is uplifting all of us. Like if you here and you eating, we all eating off the strength of you doing what you're doing. Like female basketball, women's basketball wasn't this big a deal 5 years ago. It wasn't. If anybody says it was, you're lying. And the fact that Caitlin Clark had a lot to do with this, why not just say, hey, Caitlin, thank you for what you did for us. We really appreciate it. Because to be honest with you, Big Ox, if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, I don't know that LSU got a chick on their team named Flage. I don't know that. I don't. I don't know.
Okay.
He's not aware. He's not saying this.
I was going to say, wait, so she got named? I got you.
I don't know that. I don't know that LSU got a chick on their team named Flage. I don't know that Stanford got a big girl that's a baller, and I need to start paying more attention to her because games are on more. I need to start paying more attention to these girls because I just ref women's college basketball, and contrary to popular belief, these chicks is ballers. I just want you guys to know that. Don't think for 1 second that it's just chick basketball. No, these chicks can play, and they dead ass serious. So the fact that Caitlin showed up, thank you very much for what you did for women's basketball.
And women's college basketball, they're on the up and up. Like again, you can say it's a better product than the men's. And one of the reasons why I was talking about with Fluent on the show, go check it out. It's actually on Chilltown's channel, I'm pretty sure.
King, are you crazy? I'm sorry, Taylor, to interrupt you.
He's
trolling. Are you trying to be funny?
I realized he was trolling when he said the NBA legends never disrespected.
Oh, I was about to say, because I heard Jordan say that Steph Curry wasn't a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Jalen, I'm not trying to get upset right now. I'm saying like I told you it was a better product, Jalen. I tried to tell you.
Yeah. But you know what the reasons why though? You know what the reasons why? And Fluent, this was Fluent's take. It actually was an amazing take. Is because they're actually in school for 3 years. So college men's basketball, because the 3 years it lets storylines develop, right? It lets the Caitlin Clark and Andrew Reese develop. Players can develop, get better. No, I'm saying though, he had to think where the NBA for NBA college, for college basketball for men's. Let's get a 3-year rule back. Get these guys.
They are not going to go.
No, but hold on. But this is the thing, though. This is why now one you get paid in college. So before there's a situation where there's some people who came from some tough backgrounds. They needed the money right away. Now in college, you're getting paid, right? So the financial thing, especially a lot of these guys, they didn't pay more in college than they would in the NBA for a lot of these players too. So financially, it's right there. 2, it could be better for the NBA product because players actually get to develop. They come in more developed. They can get all the basics down. They don't come in so raw. They come in better shooters, better footwork, all that. So I think it could be better for the NBA. So it's really kind of a win-win situation. And you can just have a special exception where so obviously every once in a while they're going to hold on. Every once in a while, again, this is Fluent's idea, great idea. Every once in a while, there's going to be a guy like a Wemby, a LeBron, whatever, who may be ready, right to go. So this is the rule with that. You would poll the GMs or you would poll the owners, and if 20 to 25 of the owners approve of this player coming in early, they're allowed to enter the draft. But for 99% of the people, it's 3 years in college, just like it's 3 years in college football. I think letting the body develop.
You can't take a vote on
if I'm a team that
special exception. Special
If I'm a
exceptions.
team,
No
if I'm a team that's like the 11th seed in my conference, and I know I have no chance of the number 1 pick, I would just say no. This generational player can't come out
Right.
because we
Can't
have no
do
chance
that.
of getting him. So it's just, like,
Mm,
if I'm
that.
the Chicago Bulls, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
oh my
yeah.
god,
Okay, I
there's
can see
Wemby
the
in
flaw
this
of that.
draft. No, Wemby not coming out this year.
Okay,
We
you know
need to
what?
tank
Okay,
for
okay.
Wemby.
I can see the flaw of that
Yeah.
line. Okay, you know what? That might I can see the
But
flaw
if
of
you had
that.
the
My-
number
my
1
thing is-
overall pick,
Yeah,
hell
but
yes.
if I had the number 1
Yeah.
projection,
Yeah,
yeah,
my
let
thing
me out,
is-
man. Come on, Wemby.
my
Yeah,
thing
I
is
hear
that-
you. I hear you that. Okay,
My
but
thing
hold
with
on.
that, Jalen, is it's. I feel like honestly, I mean, going one and done or coming straight out. I think it messed up the game. I think it messed up NBA.
And I
I
think
think it messed up the
game.
game. But it's too late. It's too far. We're already past that. There's no change.
You can
Let
take
these
the rule
kids
back.
let these
Take the rule
kids keep going. It's too, but not now. It would be such an uproar. It'll be too. It's not even worth the trouble. Just let them do what they want to do. They
You
already
think
ruined the
uproar?
game anyway. Let them keep doing it. My thing is, while I'm upset about these certain things, I'm about the women's, and I know people in the chat are saying things like, "Oh, you're being a hypocrite" or this and that. My thing is, I'm just upset because I don't feel like it's not new to me. Like to a lot of people, it's like, "Oh yeah, this is cool. This women's college they're playing. They actually, did you know women can play basketball?" Like, you know, to me, it's like this isn't some new revelation to me. So that's why I might not be as excited as everybody else. It's like, yo, this is what they do. They're hoopers. They play ball. So that's why I might not have the same excitement. It's just kind of like, well, I think it's a fad personally. I think most of the people that don't really watch women's basketball, they're not going to continue to watch women's basketball. It's just kind of cool for now. You know, most people are like into trends and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just don't. That's all.
It'll be interesting to see what the college, like women's basketball, what the ratings are next year college wise, just to see what Caitlin Clark, you know,
right.
How many fans really translated to becoming real fans, and it'll be nice interesting to see WNBA what kind of jump that she makes for them.
Jalen, it's not just Caitlin Clark though. We got to give everybody else their props. Even some of the girls that are still in college, Paige, Juju, and everybody else that's put in their work too this year.
100%.
Malaysia Fulwiley, you know, all of these girls have all contributed, and even some other girls in the draft. Obviously, Angel Reese, what her and Flage have done, and just LSU in totality.
Yeah,
all of this has all been a culmination of, you know, just the ladies getting the respect that they deserve, and even the WNBA product itself just becoming better and more marketable, and just a good game to watch. Good brand of basketball.
Development of storylines, I think, was huge. The storylines, matchups, and I think that's what men's college is missing. Right? You can't develop storylines. Everyone's one and done. Imagine having like a Zion versus, I don't know, who would have went to college at that time. That would have been really good. First overall pick. Damn, I don't know. But let's just say it was a LeBron and Melo type players, right? Having them in college for 2-3 years where they could really go at it, the matchups really help build that storyline. It just would be great for college basketball. So next year will be like Cooper Flag versus Shoot. See, it's the problem. I can't even name men's great.
But then there's some guys who just don't need to be in school. Like Zion did not need to be. That was a waste of his time.
James should have came straight out of high school if he could.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like James did not need to be in school. That was a waste of his time. Like there's guys who don't. That's why I have a problem with the one and done. Like I understand that there are job requirements. If you fill out a job application, you gotta be a certain age to have this job. You gotta have a certain level of education. All right, I get with that. But then there's certain people there's certain things you just bypass. And when I seen Zion Williamson at Duke, I'm like, what is this dude doing in school? He does not need to be in school. There's no reason for him to be here. He's wasting his time. None. And then there are some guys who do need to be in school, like Bronny James. Yeah. He needs to go to school, and he needs to stay in school. He's not prepared to be a pro yet. Will he be in the future? Maybe.
I think guys like Marvin Bagley, James Wiseman, they could have spent an extra couple years in college. Definitely would have helped their games instead of coming up.
Well, James Wiseman would have just benefited if he was able to play his actual.
Yes,
game.
he would have.
Yeah. And Marvin, I'm gonna be honest. Marvin Bagley looked NBA ready. I'm sorry, his team ruined him. Marvin Bagley was.
It was injuries. It was good.
No, we blaming you. We blaming you guys. But I think the issue with college is, from my perspective, and this is very limited perspective, so I'm gonna defer to Ox if he disagrees with what I'm saying. But for me, women's college basketball looked eerily similar to the WNBA in terms of how teams play and the structure and the systems and all that. It looks similar to me. Men's college basketball is drastically different to the NBA. Like they aren't even remotely the same. So for me, I think the reason why women, A, you have to, but B, I think there's an easier translation between women's college basketball and the WNBA. So where if someone's great in college, they're probably going to be great in the WNBA. The men's side is just different. It's a different game. Some
That's
people are just more suited for the NBA than college basketball.
Since you just said that,
And
why
the
is that?
reverse is true too. So
Did
that's
you
why I
see-
think some people just don't want to stay. That's just not their game. Their game is an NBA style game.
Did you see Zach Edey in that drop coverage last night? Oh my god!
He's not an NBA player. Like he's not going to be a star NBA player. Maybe
I'm thinking to myself, we got to teach him. We have to put him in spaces where he can be successful, because if you get him in one-on-one and pick and rolls and he's playing drop and Nick Claxton is diving to the rim, that's a dunk all night. And that was against this kid Johnson, who's a ridiculous athlete. But I'm looking at him in terms of just drop coverage, because he can't fight over screens. He can't do that. And he can't play up on screens. So I'm thinking to myself, he can do the other stuff. He can rebound. He can finish around the rim. That stuff is necessary for a big guy. But defensively,
get cooked.
oh,
He's a bigger and slower Frank Kaminsky. I think Frank
Kaminsky can shoot.
Yeah, Frank Kaminsky better.
Zach Edey, he's situational. He's 7'4". He's a size mismatch. He plays physically. He bangs down low. Great touch on his little hook over his left shoulder.
mm-hmm.
Good rebounder. Very good offensive rebounder. That's all I've got. Everything else, I don't like how slow how long it takes for him to process like doubles and traps and process the game. I think he makes decisions way too slowly. Obviously, getting up and down the floor takes about 17 seconds off the shot clock.
He's not that slow, Mars.
I wouldn't take him in the first round. To me, I would not take him in the first round.
And then he also just parks himself down on the block. He just stands there waiting for the ball. And then there's no at least when Shaq would do it, if someone's guarding him differently, he then seal you on the inside, get the pass that way, or he'll go to the other block. Him, he stands on the left block. He doesn't get the ball. And then he'll just wait there, and then someone will drive, and he'll still just be standing in the lane. You can't do that in the NBA. That's why I don't like him.
He's got zero NIL money too. He's made $0 in college. And he's the international visa thing. No, yeah, it's the international visa thing. Once you get a visa, you can't work.
Because he's Canadian. Yeah,
that's crazy. So to be player of the year and not make any money is crazy.
Jalen. That boy that made some money.
I mean, money the table. I hear you.
On paper, he might have made zero money. Hey, that boy is paid. I'm gonna just put it that way.
Hey, Jalen, tax free.
Hey, that might be the way to do it. Shoot.
I got a couple more super chats. I got one from Tay Luke 777. He said, "Whose game y'all excited to see translate in the playoffs? Also, watch out for Duke's women to be in the mix for the Natty. Toby Fournier dunks regularly."
Yeah, I've seen them talking about her in the chat a couple of days ago. It was Leaf and Tay talking about her.
Yeah. Y'all hip to Toby?
She dunks regularly, I heard.
Yeah. Hey, she got bounce.
Yeah, I've seen her dunking and stuff. I've actually never seen her play in a game before yet. But I've seen her dunking.
She be slamming shit.
I'm excited to see Zion for the first part. Zion. I want to see Zion in the playoffs. I'm very, very curious on how that looks. He's by far the one I want to pay the most attention to.
We might not get no Zion in the playoffs. They keep playing.
Yeah, I said, I did think they'd look a bit worse without BI, but the playoffs is so close. This is clearly a playoff team, but they might not make it, which is unfortunate.
If the Pelicans would be the team I would be most disappointed in if they don't make the playoffs. And that's from, I think the Mavericks are damn near a shoe-in right now, but they're still in the race. So I'm gonna say from the Mavericks, which are the 5 seed, all the way down to the Warriors, that's the team that I would be most disappointed in if they don't make the playoffs.
I'm kind of excited to see Jalen Williams. Just with OKC, I think actually gonna be fine. But Jalen Williams as a basically, I think needs to be their second best player, second option for them. See how he performs would be interesting.
Who you got?
Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Yeah, Butler.
If he rises again, if he goes crazy and nuclear again.
I mean, we've already seen his playoff translation though. But you eager to see it again? Can Jimmy do this again?
Yeah, I just want to see if he can carry. I'm gonna see if he is the 8th or 7th seed, can he knock off Milwaukee? He ain't knocking off the Celtics this year. I highly doubt it. But if he does, though, He might be a top 5 Heat of all. He might be the best Heat player of all time.
Oh, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing
Ox, come on now.
Look, no.
Exists.
If Jimmy takes them back to the finals, bro, he got it, dog. He got it. He got it. He got it.
Yo,
3 in the finals. Tough.
No.
Chill town. What player? My man Tay Luke 777 sent through a super chat and said, "Whose game are y'all excited to see translate in the playoffs?" You got somebody?
Jason Tatum, because I want the nonsense about him to go away more than anything. I want to see his game, him knocking down the long ball, him being a better defender in the postseason, and I want it to be consistent. That way, you have to stop the goofy logic about him just being on a bomb squad. You have to take that off the table because my game does translate when we get at the higher stage. And you're going to have some haters. I understand that part. That's not going to go away. There are going to be some people who say that, yo, the reason why you did it was because you're on a bomb squad. You did this because you had this. But what we can't deny is when your game translates to the postseason, you are that dude, no matter what. That's why Jimmy Butler is who Jimmy Butler is. One of the main reasons why Jimmy Butler is who he is because Jimmy Butler does not allow you to bait him into playing like you do. Jimmy Butler has a very basic game, and I'm better than all of you dudes at it. That's why it translates to the playoffs. I don't do anything that I don't know how to do. You will not catch me doing that. You will catch me doing what I do know how to do better than all of you do. So, and I want to see Jason Tatum do that come playoff time.
I got 2 guys that weren't mentioned, first-time playoff performers that I want to see. And I just ran a poll, too. I said, which of these guys would you guys be most excited to see in the playoffs for the first time? Jalen mentioned J-Dub. Mars mentioned Zion. But 2 guys, obviously, you guys know Halliburton. I'm excited to see what he does in the playoffs. Remember, earlier in the year, I'm quoted saying that I think that he translates very well to the playoffs. I do think he's going to have a couple rough games, but I think he looks eerily similar in the playoffs. But also Paolo, too.
Ron, I think your man is lunch on defense. I think he lunch.
Well, I mean, that's kind of
It's a lot of elite guards.
that's kind of no chill. Like,
That's what that super chat say. That super chat say first time playoff.
No,
yeah, because it said, whose game are you excited to see translate in the playoffs? It's like we've already seen Jason Tatum in the playoffs. We've already seen Jimmy, so that's what I took it as.
Yeah. Got you. Okay,
but I mean, what if I say Kyrie? I want to see Kyrie in this role.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen Kyrie really.
Yeah, like
take over for an entire
I
series.
think there's still people you can say who have been in the playoffs before, especially if they're ones who haven't necessarily performed well. Like if Julius Randle was healthy, I think Julius Randle would be a valid answer.
Donovan Mitchell, I'm interested with this squad. If he can take him.
The last year's playoffs were terrible from Donovan.
Mars, my issue with your
Sabonis is another one. I want to see Domantas Sabonis, but
my issue with your Irv logic, Mars, is
Mars,
that you want to erase what was going on in the past with him, though. That's my only issue with your Irv logic. I've seen Irv's game. I've seen Irv's game translate in the playoffs, but it's been a long time since I've seen that. So as of today, what I've seen recently, this is who he is. Now, can we get back to what he used to be? I don't know. That part I don't know.
My issue was people say, what has Kyrie done since 2017, which is them saying, what has he done without LeBron, without saying, what has he done without
Correct.
LeBron? So then they'll point to 2019 when he played for Boston and say he played poorly, which he did. But then if I point to 2021 where he played well, they'll say he wasn't a number 2 option, he was a number 3. So it was easier. But in 2019, he was the number 1 option. So both situations, he wasn't a number 2 option where everyone agrees is that he's best. But you'll use 2019 against him, but not praise him for 2021. That's the weird to me. But then you'll use 2022 when he was a number 2 option and they lost to Boston in a sweep. And you say, oh, that's who Kyrie is. But like, in my opinion, you're just picking it. You're using the bad times to be like, this is Kyrie, ignoring the good times and saying, oh, well, this is why he was good. And I'm like, okay, at this point, you just don't like Kyrie. That's how I'm viewing it. You can't use 2019 and then say 2021 doesn't count because both of them are in roles where he's not in right now. One was as a number 1 option and one was as a number 3 option. The only one you could feasibly use is 2022. And I think 2022 went wrong for a myriad of reasons beyond Kyrie isn't good enough. I mean, you could argue one of them is just because he was fasting. Another one is Steve Nash was a coach. Another one is because there was no competent game plan to counter the Boston Celtics defense. There's many reasons why they struggled beyond Kyrie just isn't that guy. which is why I think it's disingenuous. And I think Kyrie will be fine in the playoffs. 50, 40, 90 or whatever, probably not. But
Mars,
he's still
I
gonna be
don't
great.
have no. Kyrie is the last person I'm questioning playoff translation. Like, I think it's even ridiculous to even question Kyrie. I think it's even ridiculous for us even to be having this conversation. It's a million other guys we need to be talking about playoff translation, and Kyrie's absolutely not one of them. I'm confident in Kyrie playing on any court in the world, and it doesn't matter the stakes. I'm confident against him against any defense. I'm confident against him against any scheme. Come on, y'all, it's Kyrie. We've seen Kyrie at the highest level, and we've seen him time in and time out deliver. So I'm not concerned about Kyrie.
Kyrie and Luka should be the highest scoring duo in the playoffs by a good margin, I think.
Really?
Kyrie and Luka, yeah. I think they're both.
Who do you guys think would be higher than him?
Yeah,
Embiid and Maxey.
Yes. Anthony Davis and James.
give me Kyrie. Hold up. I don't think Anthony Davis and James
Jason-
will score more than Kyrie.
Jason
and Luka.
Tatum and Jalen Brown.
KD and D.
No, see, hold on. Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, they have a better team.
You guys
I
think?
they have more
Chill,
options.
Mars. You guys think all of these duos score more than Luka and Kyrie?
I think Embiid and Maxey does. KD and Embiid maybe. KD and
And
Book,
Book.
maybe.
Right.
Everyone else, but
So
Embiid.
Luka. I think Luka's going to be the highest scorer in the playoffs. I think individually he'll give you the most points, and then Kyrie's probably I think will be good for 27 to 30, not more.
I think Embiid will give you. I don't know. It depends on the matchup. Embiid will be very high scoring, and Maxey will be a high scoring player.
It'll be close. That one I can see being close. I mean, I think Kyrie and Luka will get him by a few points. But after those, like I don't see Tatum and Jalen Brown. I just don't think they'll take the shot volume that these guys will take. I just think there's a better team unit around them. I think Derek White, Drew Holiday, Porzingis, they just have guys who are going to give you 15 to 20 points.
Oh, Jamal and Jokic, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Jamal Joe, that's another one you could for sure. Again, I just think they have other guys there who kind of carry the load.
Mars, in
They
20,
might be the highest scoring duo. I just don't know for sure. That's
Mars,
what
in 22, what do you attribute to Brooklyn getting swept that year and Kyrie Irving doing what he did in that game one? I think he went 38 in that game one, and then after that, he was pedestrian. What do you attribute that to?
Part of it is the physicality Boston were able to play with, without Brooklyn having any feasible counter to it. Brooklyn running the same sets routinely, trying to get Kyrie and KD open, where Boston had clear counters to allow Kyrie and KD to not get the ball in their spots. Also, the fact that they were letting KD initiate so much of the offense that Kyrie was relegated to the off-ball role because Kyrie's fine in that role. But because of how KD was struggling with his ball security and keeping the ball, it made Kyrie's offense a lot harder. I don't know if there's numbers for this, but a lot of Kyrie's shots came late in the shot clock.
Right.
Not because with how the offense was running, they weren't getting any clean looks. So Kyrie was having to get shots with 3 seconds, 4 seconds on the clock, and he's trying to create something which ultimately hurt his efficiency. And I think game one, Boston really, hadn't implemented their plan, especially on Kyrie. On KD, I think they did a good job on him the whole series. But with Kyrie, I think they were less focused on him, and he was able to do what he does, and also shot making. But then after that, they just took Brooklyn out of so many of their actions that Kyrie was having to play. Like, we want to talk about grenades. That was what Kyrie was getting damn near the whole series, in my opinion.
Right. So with that being so, and you brought up a really good point, Mars. So isn't that attributed to them game planning to basically take Kyrie Irving out of the series? So in game one, we basically were feeling him out and he went off. So one of the things that we have to do, one, keep the ball away from him, because we know how good he is when he has the basketball, when he's getting downhill, when he's got one-on-one action. So we're going to do everything that we can to get him out of one-on-one action. And on defense, we're going to make him guard. So wouldn't that be attributed to Brooklyn losing because they took Kyrie Irving, one, out of action offensively and went after him defensively?
Yes, well, they were able to go after Kyrie defensively because Steve Nash was a clown playing 3-guard lineups. So Kyrie just had way too much responsibility defensively. He never should have even had. And then offensively, it was easier to take them out of the actions because the actions never changed. Jason Kidd has done a great job of being able to use Kyrie in a multitude of actions that get him the ball, whether that's with a clear side, Iverson cuts, and they're using him as a screener next to Luka. And then if teams blitz Luka, you got Kyrie in a short roll. Like, they're using Kyrie in different ways that get him the ball in advantageous situations. Brooklyn just wasn't doing that. And I think that's because Steve Nash is one of the worst coaches you've ever seen. And I don't think Jason Kidd is essentially the best coach ever, but he definitely does a better job of getting Kyrie the ball in situations that benefit Kyrie. So I think, and also Boston with Ime was just a very, very good defense too. So I don't think there's a team in the West that can do what Boston were able to do.
So
other than like maybe looking at this conference, the Timberwolves maybe. Other than that, I don't think there's many matchups for Dallas on the perimeter. So I think that's enough reason he'll look fine.
Do y'all remember how bad Boston made them look that year?
Well,
in that playoff series?
I remember saying Boston in 5, and people looked at me like I was crazy.
I remember that, Mars. I was like, Mars, I don't know what drink Dub snuck you, but leave that alone because there's no way that these guys smoked him like that. Boston went out there, handled
to Mars, to your point, when you were talking about Kyrie Irving not being effective. So it was basically coaching, because what we can't do is we can't just let Kyrie Irving as a basketball player, because that's the logic that you're trying to sell me. You're selling me that when Kyrie Irving is who he is and he's got the basketball and he's getting downhill and he's going one-on-one. Well, we really don't have much of a chance because he can do whatever he wants. Well, when they have a scheme where they keep the ball away from Kyrie Irving, when they double him, when they get him in pick and roll action and they chase him off the long ball line, and not just chasing him off the long ball line, when they get him in the mid-range and they're throwing bigger defenders at him, plus putting him in action defensively where they're tiring him out, that would be a scheme from coaching to keep Kyrie Irving from being effective. I mean, I think that has a lot to do with Kyrie Irving, but it also has to do with coaching too.
Yeah, I think when you look at the 2022 Nets, I think it's a situation of everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. And I think it was compounded by Steve Nash having no competent adjustment to make.
How can you be that incompetent? How can you be that incompetent?
I don't know, especially with, like, for me, if you're a high IQ point guard in your playing days, you'd like know how to get people open and get good shots. You think, but hey, maybe he's a system merchant. Maybe without D'Antoni, he don't know what he's doing. Because 2021 they looked fine offensively, but D'Antoni was on the coaching staff, and so was Ime Udoka. Then he loses both of them, and all of a sudden they look incompetent. But like for me, I don't think that suggests who Kyrie is, because I think you put a lot of shot creators on that roster in that situation. The efficiency suffers because of the shots he was having to get. Now, if you want to say Kyrie himself could have done a better job of getting good shots for himself, but because of how he was playing off the ball, he was reliant on other people getting him the ball, whether that's because he's better without the ball, because they wanted the ball in KD's hands, or they couldn't find a way to get the ball to KD without him initiating the offense, which is another Steve Nash issue. Because if they could get the ball to KD without him having to initiate the offense, they could have done that. But the only adjustment Steve Nash had was, okay, KD off the ball isn't working because we can't get him the ball. So KD, bring the ball up the court. That was all Steve Nash was able to think of. So I think
no pin downs, no dribble handoff, none of that.
Nothing.
Nope.
It was
hey, did you get the ball off the glass?
Denying KD the ball. What do I do? Oh, KD, bring the ball up. That was it. That's all he came up with. So that's what relegated Kyrie to a role where he was having to be secondary. And KD just wasn't a good enough decision maker with how Brooklyn were guarding him to get Kyrie the ball when he needed the ball in the right situations. And they weren't running any sort of plays to get Kyrie the ball where KD could find him. So that's where
they did a good job on her. I think the schemes were first class, and I thought they did a really good job on her. 100% they did.
Has there ever been a really great player who's also a good coach?
Jason Kidd. Yeah.
Okay, Jason Kidd, yeah. But I just wondered, I mean, how much does the great player the coach?
No, I mean, people don't like Jason Kidd as a coach. Yeah. Great player who's a great coach.
Lenny Wilkins. Was a great player and a damn good coach. Yep.
Let's say great, I'm thinking like all-star caliber.
Who got a ring?
Even
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell was a great coach. Oh, Larry Bird was a great coach. Bill Russell was a great coach in the 60s.
When I say great player, okay, maybe Steve Nash.
You said great player. Okay, great player.
All-star caliber, maybe Hall of Fame.
I don't think Larry Bird was a great coach.
I was gonna say I don't know if Larry Bird was
in Indiana. You don't think Larry Bird was a great coach?
Damn good coach.
I know he was fine.
Yeah, he was a damn good coach.
I feel like we've got to the point where you're judging him based on how far his teams went. Again,
yeah, Larry Bird was a damn good.
I'm more so maybe not coach, but executive too. Like I'm just just by hearing stories from other players and whatnot. But maybe so. I can't remember.
Was the GM and coach? at the time?
I believe he was an executive in Indiana for a little while.
Larry Bird was coach of the year. I didn't even know Larry Bird was coach of the year.
Yes, he
I didn't know.
was.
He was a coach first, Jalen, and then he went up to the front office.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got to get over.
Isaiah was coaching, right?
He was terrible.
Isaiah Thomas.
Terrible coach. Put a rap.
Also
Isaiah wasn't a bad coach. Isaiah was a pretty good coach. He wasn't a great coach. He was a damn good coach, though. Yes, Isaiah could coach. Yes, he could, Mars.
He was okay. But Bill Russell be getting a lot of credit from me for winning rings as a player coach on the Celtics. He coached again in the 80s.
But that Sacramento team was garbage. Mars.
Nah, we just ignore that. We just ignore that Bill Russell was coaching in the 80s.
They were terrible.
We just let it slide.
It was terrible, Mars. What they were doing in Sacramento.
Shout out Bill Russell.
Came back in a new era and he didn't look the same.
Hold on.
L Kings making the GOAT look bad.
How do you really judge Bill Russell?
That's what I'm saying. If the Kings are able to make the GOAT Bill Russell look bad, the Kings just
no, but hold on. How do we really judge Bill Russell?
That's enough, guys.
When he has all those players in Boston, like that's just the whole. But he had the perfect situation ever. Like, that was the perfect situation ever. Him coaching that Boston.
Dude in the chat, Tay Luke, you said that the Pacers should have been in the finals if it wasn't for the Malice of the Palace. Take it a step further than that. I had them winning the NBA championship that year. I had Indiana winning the NBA championship that year if it wasn't for the Malice.
That's when they had Ron Artest.
Yes, Steven Jackson, Jermaine O'Neal, Reggie Miller. I had them winning the NBA championship.
Tay said Reggie could have got a chip. It's not only that he could have got a chip. Reggie needed that shit.
Yeah, I had them winning the NBA championship that year.
I wonder how. Like, I see a lot of people saying Reggie Miller is like the worst, like one of the worst, like top 75 players or one of the worst Hall of Famers in history because like, his resume is like 5 All-Stars and like 2 All-NBA teams or something. It's just like you guys ain't watched Reggie Miller if you think he's the worst player in the top 75. Like, I'm sorry, there's no way you think
worst is kind of
of all the players that needed rings. I think Reggie needed the most. Like between like AI, Charles, Pat, all those players that needed rings, like Reggie needed it the most. Like,
and the All-Star
just because the hate he gets, like Reggie was a dog, straight baller. And
he was good. If AI won a ring, he'd probably be ranked very, very, very highly.
Can you imagine the conversation?
Even without
the ring, AI still got the love that Reggie Miller doesn't have. Yeah, I get you.
Because he wasn't physically that gifted, Reggie Miller. You know, he's just out there. People just thought he would just shoot the ball, but he'd get to the rim to do his thing. I mean,
Reggie Miller was the best off-ball player at a time where off-ball value wasn't really understood.
And the whole All-Star, All-NBA thing too, like All-Star game. Look, Michael Jordan had it locked for a decade. Obviously, that shooting guard spot. So then it was him. Clyde was fighting for a spot. I guess. What's competition too?
What's his name? The one who was on the
Mitch Richmond.
Him. That's him.
Mitch Richmond fighting for a spot. There were just guys who were fighting for one spot behind Michael Jordan as a shooting guard. So I mean, that's tough.
I think Reggie Miller was the second best shooting guard of the 90s, but that's just my opinion.
All right, y'all. We gotta get to the Western Conference right now as currently stands. Oh, it's a team at the bottom. Let me get them out of here. There we go. All right. We're looking at the playoff picture right now. Talk to me, fellas. What sticks out to you guys? What matchup are you most excited to see? Well, not necessarily matchup, but who are you excited to see just fight for a spot for the end of throughout the end of the playoffs? Whether it's the Suns and the Pelicans, or whether it's the Lakers and the Warriors, because now they're pretty close to each other. What are you guys excited to see right now?
The Clippers.
Yeah.
Clippers series. Part 3. My eyes are gonna be glued to that screen watching that series.
And look, I'm excited to see either the Warriors beat Minnesota, the Lakers beat Minnesota, the Kings beat Minnesota, or the Pelicans. Any one of those
Kings beat the Wolves?
Yes, I think the Kings beat the Wolves.
First of all, Trey Lyles back.
Jalen, what's your issue with Minnesota?
That's tough.
What's your problem with Minnesota?
My issue with Minnesota is I think that they're incredibly relied on Anthony Edwards for scoring. I think they have no other shot creator really besides Anthony Edwards. Who
did the Kings have besides De'Aaron Fox for shot creation?
Hold on. Let's respect Keegan Murray.
Let's respect Big Jelly. Let's respect Big Jelly.
Easy on Big Jelly.
No, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If we're bringing up Keegan Murray for shot creation, Naz Reid has to be brought up.
Thank you.
Definitely.
I would say another way. If Naz Reid brought up, Keegan has to be brought up. That's, you know what I'm saying? Both ways. They go both ways.
Naz Reid is better than Keegan Murray.
I'm about to say, does it go? I thought he was going to say Sabonis. I didn't even think he was going Keegan Murray.
Sabonis shot creation?
No, Sabonis. I mean, yeah.
I was thinking create a bucket. I wasn't thinking like necessarily creating a shot, but creating a bucket. Suppose he gets his own buckets.
Sabonis for sure gets his own bucket.
Rudy Gobert?
Nah, we're not.
You know how I feel about Baguette
I'm not
Biombo.
giving
Stop
Rudy
it.
that. Yeah.
Stop
You don't think Baguette Biombo can guard Domantas Sabonis left hand?
No.
Okay.
Yes, Damo, what you doing?
Wait,
Man,
Sabonis is going to be out rebounding
guy,
Rudy.
but come on.
Matter of fact, I need my. I had a whole half an ounce for you. Nope. Now I'm keeping it now. Nope. I'm keeping it now. Hell no.
He said you already too high. You
Definitely no. Hell no.
You don't need that, Domo.
Come on. You telling me the top 5 center can't get buckets on Gobert now? What?
A whole half an ounce for you.
I mean,
Demontis
Demontis plays pretty good against Rudy Gobert. I think the matchup
Demontis
is
going to out
pretty
rebound Rudy
good.
Gobert.
He's not top 5, Mars? He's not top 5 this year?
No.
My fault. Remove AD and Giannis. He's not top 5.
Okay. Jokic.
There we go.
Jokic, Embiid, Bam, Wemby. That's 4.
Oh, I forgot. Y'all do Wemby
And that's saying, Mars.
Top 5 for real.
Chet better than him too.
I'm about to say, y'all got Wemby.
What are you talking about? Sengun better than him too.
forgot.
He like 7th. He like
Get it,
7th.
Ox. Chet better than him too, Ox.
Bro, how long
None of
has
that
Rudy
shit.
been
That's
He's
rotten.
not
That's
the better
spoiled.
Rudy. He won't even be the best
It's been
center in the
it's been
series
in the
against the
cover too
Timberwolves.
long.
He's not
It's
even
got
Throw that
maggots
out.
all over it.
Throw it out, Ox. That's
Put
disgusting.
that in
Throw it
the
out.
trash compactor.
Got
Don't
maggots all over it.
Don't even feed that to the hogs. That's
Got
disgusting.
maggots
Wait,
all
no,
over
he
it.
not even
Malik
better.
Monk
He
back?
wouldn't even be the best center in the series.
You see, I'm not hating on Sabonis, right? You see, I'm giving Sabonis his credit.
Yeah, that's-
Just so you
that's
Yeah,
know.
I'm giving him
That's-
his credit too. He's
Just so
like the
you know.
8th best
Wait,
center in the league.
Hold on. If Malik Monk is healthy, it's for sure. But is he going to be back?
Ain't no
for
if.
No, Malik Monk's out. Malik Monk's out.
No.
Malik won't be there for the first round. But
the first round won't be there. Okay.
if we can get that 3 seed and DeMontis torches Chet.
Oh,
like we
no,
did
you
with
get the 60. Okay.
Okay.
Six,
I
I'm
was
gonna
with
say
you,
six,
Mars.
my
Like,
bad.
yo,
I'm gonna say
Ox,
six, my
what?
bad,
Yeah, I was like, okay.
My bad. I meant to say if we get we can play then, you know.
You play
So
them,
if we
yeah.
can get that 6 seed, we know what DeMontis does to Chet. We've seen it all season. If we can do that, we can get to the second round. Malik will be back. Boom, we in the Western Conference Finals, baby. Let's do it.
Fellas, right quick.
So when Chet outplays DeMontis,
It's not gonna happen. It's not
You
gonna
gonna say
happen.
Chet
I'm not
better?
even
You gonna say
thinking
Chet
about it.
better?
No,
I
because it
will.
doesn't happen. He's
I
not,
personally
like,
will.
Don't do that,
okay, yeah,
Damo.
You know what?
If he
That's fine.
outplays him,
Let's
if
do
he
that. Let's do
outplays
that.
him going
We
into
can
next
definitely do
season,
that.
of course I am. Like what?
We can do that, Mars. We can. I'm so confident.
You're
in
so
how
confident it won't
I'm
happen that you're willing
I'm so
to say that.
confident in how DeMontis just thrashes Chet.
But when I say better players get outplayed, I'm on some bullshit, right? But now,
What
Damo right here, who I'm taking my half an ounce and I'm leaving with it, by the way. But Damo telling me that if Damo telling me that Chet outplays a rook, by the way, outplays an all-pro going into next season, he ahead of him. Okay, so just remember that when I say better players get outplayed, and I'm on some bullshit when I say that. All right,
Chet should be
Like,
ahead of him right now.
to think that Chet really can outplay DeMontis Sabonis is so absurd.
Yeah, I think
Chet's
it's
better than him. I
Wait,
don't
that
know why we're
defense,
saying
like
that.
defensively, defensively, Chet's gonna probably do more than Sabonis.
No, he's not. He's weak.
I
You don't think he's gonna outplay him defensively?
Yeah, but-
All right, now let's relax.
No, because he's
still
going
better
to be
team
guarding him.
defender.
Like he's going to be guarding him. He can't guard him. He's not.
even
strong
when
enough.
Fox is attacking the rim, though, Chet's
I don't
gonna
even
be there to
because
meet
like in basketball, a lot of times physical attributes overshine skill set. Like I don't care what Chet's skill set is, he can't guard DeMontis Sabonis. He just can't do it.
too little. He's saying he's too.
Yeah,
he's got
Yeah,
a
but
little-
I'm gonna
there's
be honest.
nothing he can do.
If the Kings offense devolves into Sabonis isos on Chet,
We're
Okay.
cooking. Like he's cooking.
Yeah,
So
okay.
You go.
Sabonis, go ahead, average
That's
35.
not how they play anyway. So I'm not worried about that. Like we don't play like
Yeah,
that. But
how they
still,
play is their dribble handoffs, and Chet's gonna do a hell of a job defending.
He hasn't though, Mars. Like we've seen it.
He's
He can't
going
do it.
to.
Okay,
He's going
cool.
to.
All right,
Yeah.
he's going to. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
But
But they're not gonna play.
Yo,
If they-
fellas, before I put this Western Conference back up here and hear everybody's what everybody's looking forward most to, I gotta ask you guys, which teams, in the words of Chill, are the other teams in the conference looking at like lunch? So I know a lot of us have alluded to OKC being the team that we want to play. A lot of teams have alluded to the Pacers being the teams that you want to play. But in what other teams are teams like we want to see you guys in the playoffs?
can I expand on your question, Ron?
What's
to
up,
expand, to expand on your question, have you guys ever seen a team that's as high a seed as the Milwaukee Bucks are, and other teams looking at them like we want them?
The Jazz.
Minnesota.
The Jazz. 2021 Utah Jazz.
I'm about to say the
Jazz
Jazz those
That
years.
Jazz team. That's the
Oh,
one that came to.
wait, Joe, the Atlanta Hawks.
Dare I say the 2015 Hawks?
Yeah, the
but,
Hawks.
like,
The Hawks. 2050 Hawks. Ain't nobody worried about them.
I don't understand why, because with the exception of Cleveland, they beat everybody else.
That's true. I mean, they were.
That's
great
what shows
They
how
beat-
bad the conference was.
They beat everybody else. And hold on, Mars. They were 14 games over 500 in the Western against the Western Conference that year too.
Yeah, because
But-
they played great. They played great regular season basketball, ball movement, player movement,
saying.
all of those wonderful Spurs things. Good for you.
They ran
Playoffs
up on
come
them.
around. I'm sorry, we're not worried about DeMar Carroll.
Wait, but hold on. I mean, I guess every team. I mean, the Cavs weren't worried about them, but other teams were probably worried. The Cavs
Because
weren't
the rest
worried.
of the conference stunk.
I just look
Yeah,
at I'm just looking at this Milwaukee Bucks team with the talent that they have, and I can't remember a team that has this level of talent, not just this level of talent, but the players that they had. They got a top 2, top 3 player in the world on their team, and his team's looking at them like, we can beat them. Especially in the first round, we can beat them.
That perimeter.
Honestly, I think veteran teams are looking like that exact way about the Thunder. I think a veteran team, a team that's been there, been in dogfights.
But
knows
why
what
though,
they're
Damo?
like. Just because their age,
Right.
and a lot of looking at that team, you know they're gonna play Josh Giddey minutes, and we all know how every team is about to guard Josh Giddey in the playoffs. You know what that's about to turn into. It's about to be another version of Russ out there, where it's hey, let him shoot, back up, put the big on him, just back up, let that man shoot the ball. We're gonna worry about trying to get the ball out of Shea's hands, and we're gonna try to lose by the rookie. Lose by a rookie and a second-year player. We're gonna let J-Dub and Chet trying to carry off for 7 games. We're gonna take Shea out of the game and attack him on defense. And I don't care what happens. We want Josh Giddey shooting all the shots. And they're just young. I have a strong belief that any veteran team does not believe that these guys are. The same way a lot of people don't believe that Shea and them guys are ready because their age. I feel like vets are looking at them the same way.
Fellas, I'm gonna give you.
They have enough depth to counter that. But go ahead, Ron.
I'm gonna give you guys a team, and you got 2 options to choose. You got lunch tray, which means we want it with you guys, which means we gonna eat your lunch, or you got runaway, which means we don't want nothing to do with you. We running as far away from you as possible.
Right.
First team, Chill said it, so let's go with them. The Milwaukee Bucks. Lunch tray or runaway.
Lunch tray. Lunch tray, 100%. That off that perimeter defense that they have, not only just that perimeter defense that they have, Giannis having to go to the stripe, he won't turn his brain off. His teams, the Miami Heat, the Indiana Pacers, all of these teams are looking at Milwaukee. We can beat them. We can definitely get them. Brook Lopez is a shell of himself. He's not what he used to be. They clearly need to upgrade that position in the offseason. Bobby Portis, I'm not really sure what exactly I'm going to get from him. I'm going to get buckets, but the other stuff that we need and him being good at, I definitely need that, and I'm not sure I'm going to get it, especially in a specific playoff series when they got a bad matchup. So of all the teams, lunch tray.
We might be dragging it a little bit. Like first round,
I'm running
Damian
away
Lillard.
from.
Yeah, I
I'm
was saying,
avoiding Giannis as long as I can. What are we doing right
you
now?
want to avoid
Like, I
Giannis.
don't want to play Giannis. Just 'cause I don't think the team is very good. I'd still rather not have to scheme for Giannis. Like that's long.
And hold on, first round, Damian Lillard. Like, Damian Lillard to me is going to be hooping. He always hoops.
Oh yeah, first round
First
Dame.
round?
You'd be doing first round
First
Dame.
round
things.
Dame is going to be hooping.
Yeah,
so,
you'd rather play the Bucks later on because that's when you know Dame don't be hooping no more.
I mean, dog,
We've never seen a first round Dame being coached by Doc.
hey, the Doc Rivers factors. I hear you. The Doc Rivers factors. You might have got me.
yeah,
out.
I'm
not
yeah,
considering
but-
Doc Rivers tax.
Yeah, the Doc Rivers tax is definitely a tax.
I think
All
I think teams would rather play the Bucks and start from down 3-1, and then they feel more confident that they'll win.
Maybe.
I think that's they starting at 0-0 is where they lack confidence. But if you just start the series down 3-1, I think teams will be comfortable playing the Bucks.
Can you believe that Mars is really sitting here telling me that, yo, in a 100-yard race, I'm going to spot you 40 yards and I think I could beat you?
Yeah, because if we start at the same point, who knows who'll win? But if you start 4 yards ahead, you're gonna be walking, you're gonna be strolling, thinking you're
I
comfortable.
think I could run you down.
Yeah,
I think I could run you. You in particular, I think I could run you down. I don't know about everybody else, but you, I think I could run you down. So I'm going to spot you almost half the field.
I know.
And I think I can get you.
I know we got to move on to the next team. Can I just ask real quick about the Bucks and we can move on?
Yeah.
Are the Bucks and the Lakers the only teams that's going to be in the playoffs that their biggest X factor is their coach?
I think D'Lo might be a bigger X factor than the coach.
I don't think about that. I don't know about that one. I think
I
think Ham is a bigger X factor than D'Lo.
Or
I
could it
mean-
just be that Giannis isn't who we think he is?
Is it wrong of me to say
Giannis
the
is
Heat?
huge.
Is it wrong of me to say the Heat's biggest factor is Eric Spoelstra? Just because, like,
Nah,
But, like,
'cause
even though it's not because of the negative aspect, it's the positive aspect.
I would
but-
say because the fact that we all know it's going to be some guy we're not thinking of right now that's going to have the games of his life in the playoffs. So if you want to say because of the coaching and Eric Spoelstra is going to get the most out the player, then I guess technically, yeah, you can say Eric Spoelstra is a big X factor as well.
But the negative aspect, yeah, I think is those teams, the Bucks and the Lakers. Maybe Steve Kerr a tiny bit, but everyone else.
He's not making it past the first round of playing. I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
All right, y'all. The next team I got for you guys is the team that's the top of the Western Conference, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Runaway or lunch tray?
They lunch meat, they brunch meat, they dinner meat. It's every single meal, baby. Minnesota's out of here. I'm telling you, they're not winning around this playoffs.
Not winning around is tough.
Yeah, that's wild. That's
I would say lunch tray. Yeah, I would say lunch tray.
I'm saying run away. Yeah, I'm saying run away. They have a young established dog, and they are an established defense. And we all know in the playoffs, when it comes down to it, defenses was going to win a championship. Defenses was going to be the most important thing. And if we're looking at a team who are they not the best defense? Are they the best defense in the league?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We're talking about the best defense in the league being driven by the guy that's being pushed to be one of the next biggest stars in the next couple of years. I don't think teams are taking them lightly.
And the fact that they do it consistently, that's the biggest difference with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like, their defense isn't sometime or they only turn it on every once in a while. No, they do it at a consistent rate. And in the playoffs, that's what's going to be the difference. Now, don't get me wrong, losing Cat and arguably your best offensive player, that's going to be a big deal. But when we run up on teams in the playoffs that if we can just slow you down and then we get into games where we can play half court and we can score 90, that's the pace that we're at, and we're comfortable with that, as opposed to we're giving up 115, 120. Now it gets out of control.
Their offense is just not good.
I think the biggest problem is excuse me. I think the biggest problem with their offense is, and I've said this to you, Mars, already, the biggest problem with their offense is conversion. It's not the action that they get, because they get good action. They get open shots. They get guys going downhill. You know how I feel about Rudy around the rim and how much that will open up the offense more. And if they played faster in transition, that's one thing. But when we get in the half court, they're pick and pop, they're picking dives, they're wide open looks on the long ball line. They get really good action. It's just a matter of converting that stuff. That's where the issue is. And also, too, really quickly, also, we got to stop this logic of them being a young team. Okay, Rudy been in the league 9 years. I'm sorry, I think it's over 10 years Rudy been in the league. Cat been in the league 9 years. Mike Conley been in the league 17 years.
7.
Yeah, he came
Kyle
in with KD.
Anderson.
Yeah, he came in the league with KD. Kyle Anderson been in the league for over 6 or 7 years. This isn't a young team, okay? This is a
The
very
only young guys are Nas, Reed, and Ant.
That's it. That's it. This team is a vet unit. So we gotta,
McDaniel.
J-Mac? I'm gonna say
Jaden
J-Mac.
McDaniels.
yeah, Jaden McDaniels. We got to knock it off with this being a young group. No, it's not.
That's a fact. Slow-mo's
The
a
thing
vet.
with the Wolves too, sometimes less is more. You know what I mean? Like coming down the stretch, Cat don't gotta worry or Ant don't gotta worry about, do I need to get Cat the ball? Like Ant don't gotta, like, Cat's not there no more. So we don't gotta think about, oh, do we looking for Cat to score? Ant's on time, like, okay, I got to put the team on my back offensively down this last 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. Sometimes I feel like that's better. That's a better situation. I can just think, score the basketball. I don't got to be worried about is Cat getting his shots or, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Sometimes I'm under the impression less is more a lot of times in basketball.
All right, y'all. The next team that I got for you, they were in the finals last year. But are they lunch tray or runaway?
Runaway.
Miami is
the Miami
food.
Heat.
I'm not playing it, Mars. They food, Mars. I think they food.
I want to avoid the best coach in the conference at all costs.
I think they
That's
food,
tough one.
Mars.
Miami's a tough one. They're right in the middle.
I don't think they're gonna go far this year. I just would rather not play them.
Nobody should want to play Miami. Nobody.
It's a team I don't want to play. Like, even if I think Boston will win the series, I just know it's just gonna be annoying. Like, Give me Indiana, please. I don't want to play Miami.
Mm.
Like, I don't want to deal with them.
Give me Philly. Give me Philly.
I'd rather
I don't
play
wanna
Philly,
play
and I
Miami.
know that Philly have the best. Philly would have the best player in the series, in my humble opinion.
Ron,
I'd
the
rather
logic
play them.
here-
And Nick Nurse is a hell of a coach. He's the second best coach in the conference, in my opinion. I don't want to deal with what Eric Spoelstra is going to throw at me. I'd rather not.
The logic that Mars is telling me, Ron, it sounds like, yo, I'll whoop your ass, but I'd so rather not fight you.
Yeah,
I'd
like the
rather
fight would
somebody
just be
else.
annoying. Like
Like,
I don't want.
I think I can
You
beat
know,
you.
it's that one guy that he go get the grabbing stuff, throwing it
Okay.
at you.
I'm pretty confident I can beat you, but I'd
doing
rather
dirty
not fight
things.
you.
You know, like you.
Well, that's
What
the
Mars
fact. You
logic
know, you know how it's happened. You know what I'm saying? When you know, like, okay, I won that fight, but still, I know for the next 2-3 days, my jaw, you know how it hurts right here. My jaw is going to be hurt. It's going to hurt to eat. I'm going to forget. Like on the second day, I might even forget about the fight, wake up and try to eat and be like, damn, dude really rocked me. But
You gonna leave
I'll
with
beat
some
his
blood
ass
on you,
up.
some way, shape, or form. You are going to leave blood.
I just
But-
feel like what you asking them to do, what you're asking them to do again, with basically something similar to what they did in terms of a group. You're asking them to duplicate that against better teams this year. You're asking a lot, man. You are. You're asking a lot.
Lunch tray. Lunch tray.
Why, Damo?
I'm saying lunch tray until I see something different. I'm not feeling it this year. I'm genuinely just not feeling it with the Heat this year. I'm not getting tricked by the mystique. I'm not feeling the aura. I'm not feeling the underdog vibes. I'm not feeling none of it. All right. Until they show me that, I ain't gonna lie. They take the Celtics out. Run away, everybody. Everybody run away. Run away. I lied.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
wrong.
not gonna lie,
But
Chill. You might have to avoid the show if Boston lose to Miami. You might.
Oh,
have to.
I already
Yeah.
know what it is. I already know what it's going to be. Yeah, I already know.
The reason
I
I think
won't-
they'll lose,
I
I just
won't
don't
be
think
able to
their
duck
offense
that.
is good, but
I won't be able to duck that if they
Actually,
do. But
hold on.
Chill, would you duck smoke like that?
no, I won't be able to get away from that. No matter
Swiper is
what.
going to be unbearable if
Yes,
Miami
I
beat
won't.
Boston.
I won't be able to do that.
Swiper's already unbearable.
Yeah,
But,
but
yo,
Ron, you're gonna be unbearable if Boston beat Miami and it takes 6 games.
Y'all don't-
You're gonna be like, why did they lose 2 games? Oh my god.
Okay, so you think like
It's like, yeah,
I'm
you're just unbearable when it comes to Boston.
cool.
But Swiper's
Nah,
gonna be
y'all don't-
unbearable if Miami wins.
Y'all don't know. Y'all didn't know Swiper before the Nuggets won. He's gotten so much worse. That's when he became
So
unbearable.
as bad as he is now,
Oh,
so-
he's so much worse now than he was before they won. Before they won, he was bad. Every conversation turned into Jokic versus whoever we're talking about. Like, don't get me wrong, he was pushing propaganda. When they won, it was like Pandora's box opened, and he was just unsufferable with just, oh my god, I hate the dude.
So we
If
can say the
Miami,
same.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Ox. I'm sorry.
If Miami wins, me and Swiper gonna be on the same side, and I'm still gonna want to slap that egghead. All right, you know?
So,
Yeah, it's
if
gonna be crazy.
you think Swiper is going to be unbearable, what do you think Jalen's going to be if the Lakers win the NBA championship?
Oh, you know what?
He's
Yeah.
gonna be.
I didn't let you
He's
know.
gonna be the second most
Ron is
unbearable
for sure
person.
bringing
What?
back if the Lakers
He's-
win. Ron's
Jalen,
bringing back
what
Jalen.
about
I know for a
Damo?
fact he's
I'm about to
bringing
say
back
Jalen's gonna be the second most unbearable person on the panel next to me. I'm gonna be so much worse. I promise you.
I'm
So
gonna
however
be
bad
on
Jalen
LeBron
is.
time.
However bad Jalen is.
LeBron propaganda.
However bad
So
Jalen
what? So
is,
what?
I'm
Damo,
gonna be
What if they win and
times
LeBron's
two.
not the
Damo
Finals
times
MVP?
two.
I'm still
Oh, there's
unbearable.
no
Jalen-
problem.
Yeah, I'm
There's
on
Jalen's
This
up.
is just a
Jalen's
feeling. This is
up.
just a feeling.
Yeah, I'm about to say
What if they
Jalen's
win
up.
and LeBron's not the Finals MVP, Jalen?
If they win and LeBron's not the Finals
I'm
MVP.
gonna say it right now to
I'm
y'all.
gonna have to figure it out. I'm gonna have to figure it out.
And
The Finals MVP doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna figure it out. It doesn't matter to me.
Everybody here, Jalen, Damo, Ron, Chilltown, Morris. I love y'all, chat. I love y'all. But if the Lakers win the championship, boy, y'all probably might never see me again, bro.
I better not. Hey, Ox, I'm telling you right now, you better not
Can't handle
disappear.
it. Can't handle it.
I'm coming through with the LeBron suit on, glass of wine, cigar. Let's go. We coming.
You're
If the
coming
Lakers
in
win
with
like
the
that,
LeBron suit.
LeBron
I ain't gonna
suit,
lie.
wine
He
ready,
got
I'm
me
coming,
beat.
man.
He's gonna be
I'm
worse.
telling you.
Oh,
He got me beat with
no,
the
no,
LeBron
no. I'm out on the panel, Chilltown. I'm out on the panel.
If I see Jalen bring out the LeBron suit with the LeBron Finals MVP,
hey, I'm telling you, we coming with the all LeBron team. It's gonna be Jalen,
Steph,
Chill. You know you fall in that category. Damo, Dion from Ohio.
Everybody pull up. It's a LeBron
That
party,
first week-
baby. It's
Matter
a
of fact,
LeBron party.
I'll do this. I'll do this as a favor. because I don't want to ruin everybody's summer with my enjoyment of my team.
Going to.
I'm gonna be as unbearable as I possibly can for 1 week. That first week after the finals, I'm gonna just be basketball. What's the basketball conversation? Because all I'm gonna be talking about is the Lakers is the greatest franchise of all time. Finally, B, LeBron is undoubtedly the GOAT. There's no conversation no more. And C, Austin Reeves is the greatest white boy in the NBA. Sorry, Luka. That's all I'm saying for a whole week. For a whole week.
I think the Lakers are the greatest franchise already. Though I think that's already done. If you ask me,
I don't. Boston are harping on these 60s rings.
They won one ring in the past 40 years. Boston's not even in it no more. You know what I'm saying? It's San Antonio or LA, and I'll give it to LA. You know what I'm saying? I think LA already got it. That's coming from me. I think LA is the best franchise of basketball.
I respect that so much.
For me, it's clearly the Lakers. I'm sorry, since 1980, they've won 4 rings.
You gonna have Light Out and Fluent up here for that too? Like,
yeah, it's gonna be Lakered out.
We bring about PC Lakeland. For
a day, for a week, possibly for a week.
And shoot, Damo, forget just 1 week. It's all off season. All off season.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I might take the off season off.
Jalen. We gotta have constructive. We gotta have an actual show.
No, ain't no constructive. All I heard was LeBron too old. He went to LA to make movies. This and that. No, if he win, what? It would stop it. Everyone getting held.
Oh no, I'm definitely. And Space Jam was weak as hell too, Jalen.
Space Jam 1 was weak as hell
definitely.
Too.
I ain't gonna lie.
No way we're gonna be including Space Jam in GOAT debate. Sorry, there's no way.
Bro, send him to hell.
We're doing that.
There's no way.
We for real
Space
doing
Jam was
that.
never a good movie. It was another thing. The Jordan propaganda hype of the 90s.
What?
Oh yeah, the nostalgia.
Just
killing y'all, man.
That wasn't a good movie.
No, it wasn't. Stop acting like it was.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Remove him.
Space Jam 1 was definitely better than Space Jam 2, undoubtedly. Space Jam 1 is not a good movie.
It's not a good movie.
It's cool. It's mid.
Cool. Exactly.
Yo, get both of them out of here.
Hey, just the soundtrack alone is classic.
First of all, there is no way we are going any. No one is giving that man R. Kelly credit. I'm sorry. If you're giving R. Kelly credit,
was the only one on the
he ruins it.
He
ruins it. He ruins it. Mid. It's a mid movie. But nah, that first week, the Lakers win and LeBron gets Finals MVP. I definitely got my foot on Ox's neck that first week. I definitely on Ox's neck. Of all people up here, definitely Ox.
Damo. I mean, you can at least know Diddy that.
My foot's on his neck. That's crazy.
I'm just saying, I'm just trying to protect you from.
Focus, Ron.
Chill. I'm trying to protect my man. You know how to chat gets. You know specifically, Chill, how to chat gets.
No one thought of an AO with that until you said no. Diddy.
All right, my bad.
I'm more of a hand on the neck, not the foot.
But Damo, I mean, come on, bro. Like, come on, Damo. We're gonna beat the hell out of it. That's what we do. That's the new era. The new era is us.
If we win and LeBron gets Finals MVP, I'm pulling up the episode where I was sitting here telling people, "Hey, man, I know LeBron's 79 years old. He's still LeBron James," and I was told, "No, Father Time's undefeated. We just can't expect an old man to just do.
Albert, though. That's
we can't just expect an old man LeBron to keep doing this. That's not fair to him." So yeah, if we win, foot on next.
Yeah, you know what? Father Time been defeated. If LeBron wins, Father Time wins. I mean, LeBron wins. LeBron has beaten Father Time. That he'd be only.
I mean, he's gonna Father Time is gonna get him eventually, Jalen. It might just not be right.
After a certain point, though, it's just like after a certain point, it's not Father Time. It's just your own discretion. It's like, all right, I'm good. I beat Father Time. I'm out.
Jalen, who do you?
Are you gonna say LeBron's gonna? Are you trying to argue LeBron's gonna regress by choice? Is that what you're trying to say? LeBron's gonna choose to regress.
LeBron gonna leave by choice. It's gonna be Father Time calling. It's gonna be his wife calling. Hey, LeBron, it's been real. Come spend time with me instead.
Time to come home.
Well, shit, I'm not gonna argue with that. Hey, Savannah call you. Hey, you better go.
Right back.
Woo!
All right, y'all. I still got a couple more teams. Lunch tray or runaway. The Miami Heat was the last team. It looks like we have mixed feelings on them. But the next team I'm going to, this is a team that really has questions and concerns, but it's also dangerous. So I'm curious to know lunch tray or runaway with the Phoenix Suns.
Bro, you got to run away. You don't want to play that firepower.
Yeah, I'm a runaway too. I'm a runaway too.
Right now they play OKC, right?
I got them beating OKC.
If the playoffs started today, Mars,
Yeah, I
they
do.
see OKC in the first round. As
The
it
same
is,
team that Nurkic
they
dropped like
have
30 rebounds on.
they have to see OKC in the first round.
And I think they still lost that game, but yeah.
Lunch tray. I'm going to lunch tray. Let me break the ice. Lunch tray. Teams are not afraid of the Suns. The Suns coming into the season is not the team that they are going into the postseason. The mystique is gone. Obviously, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are going to be phenomenal players, and people are going to have to worry about them. But Bradley Beal is not the Bradley Beal we thought he was going to be, at least from what I'm seeing. He's not, and it's because of injuries, because of his role. Not saying he's bad. He's just not as great as I was expecting him to be. And man, they're not playing Bobo, so why would you be scared? They're not gonna play Bobo.
Genuine. What did you think Bradley Beal was gonna do?
Well, one be a lot more healthy than this. That's
Okay,
one.
the health.
But I genuinely thought, and let me pull the numbers up just in case I'm bugging.
He's been
He's
great.
17. He's 17. As a third guy, he's 17 and 7.
4 and 5.
I think in a month of March, he's 17 and 7.
Month of March. Okay.
As a third guy,
he's been extremely efficient too, and he's played off the ball very well. He's been doing some nice things as a secondary ball handler and playmaker,
playing decent defense too.
Yeah, and defensively he hasn't been food. So I mean that's a positive. And like, especially like recently, like I don't know.
Let me see what he's done recently. Let me see. I'm pulling up the recent numbers.
In the month of March, I think he's 17 and 7.
And he's played and he's been playing consistently like 30 minutes.
Yes, he's been healthy too.
He's been healthy.
Yep.
I look since
17 and 7. Yeah, 17 and 7. 50 from the field, 41 from 3.
Since the game he got ejected against us, so the Houston game where he got ejected, since that game, he's played 34.6 minutes a game, 17 a game, 6 assists, 52% from the field, 48% from 3, and 84% from the line.
Maybe I'm using the narrative of the entire season instead of what he's done lately, and that's just on me. I'm not really taking into consideration just this last March stretch. Quan, you got it. I don't watch Suns basketball for real. I just wait to hear Bobo playing, then I tune in. You got me. Hey, you got me. I got caught. There you go.
Yo, from the rest of you guys, lunch tray or runaway?
I'm gonna be honest. I think the whole West is low key. The whole West might be a runaway. I don't think anyone wants to play anyone. I'm gonna be honest. You'd rather just play the East. I don't want to play the Suns. I don't want to do with that. I think Frank Vogel's a good coach. I think they got a good side.
I'm kind of right.
They got good versatility with KD at 5. Like,
when are they gonna finally do it, Mars? Chill town. All of y'all. When is Adam Silver? Because Adam Silver's changed.
Never gonna do it. The Eastern Conference Championship means something. The Western Conference Championship
does. Chill, but I'm saying it definitely. And you know what? Now that they did the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson Award, I guess now so obviously they probably won't. But at some point though, we got to go 1 through 16.
You can still call it the Magic Johnson and Larry Bird Award. It's just not a conference finals. It's just a Final Four.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's all.
I would think eventually we'd have to balance out. Like the East has to be better than the West.
There's no reason why I'm sorry. There's no reason why I'm having to see the Warriors and Lakers not be playoff teams. I still vehemently am against the play-in. So not be playoff teams, and then I can see teams who are clearly worse than them be the number 3 seed in that conference.
Well, you can't. I can't blame you for your, where you are geographically. I can't do that. But, you play in a tougher conference. I won't argue that neither.
But that doesn't make your team worse.
Okay, the Lakers are better than the Chicago Bulls. 100%. The Lakers are better than, I don't know, are the Lakers better than Indiana?
Yes.
Because as of right now, if they were in the East, they got the 6th best record. That's where they are.
And that's giving them that's giving them their Western Conference schedule. If they played the East and only had to play Western teams twice a year, they'd be a 50-win team. And I'm certain of that. Especially if you put them in a division, if you put them in a Central Division where they got to see Detroit and Chicago 10 times a year, they'd be a 50-win team.
I think about the Western Conference, and the divisions are pretty ragged. If I look at the Southwest Division, that's a nightmare with Dallas and New Orleans and Houston and Memphis and San Antonio. But the Pacific Division, I mean, that whole division could make the playoffs.
It's ridiculous. The Suns, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Warriors.
That whole division could make the playoffs.
And
the entire division could make the playoffs. And with the Northwest Division, I mean, Minnesota, Denver, Oklahoma City are those 3 teams. Now, when you look at the Atlantic Division, I mean, Boston, the Knicks, and Philly are going to make the playoffs. The Central Division, you could have Bucks, Cleveland, and 4 of those 5 teams can make the playoffs.
If Chicago make it, is criminal. But like for me, like I get Ox's idea. You play every team 3 times, 87 game season, so 5 extra games. I know the players aren't going to like it. 87 game season, 1 through 16. Then every team is playing each other the same amount of time, so you don't get to the advantage of an easier schedule if you're in a different conference or in a different division. OKC will play Chicago 3 times. They'll play Utah 3 times. They'll play Boston 3 times. So everyone has the same opponents, the same amount of times. 1 through 16. I think that's the fairest way to do it. I think with us keeping conferences, and especially you playing teams within your division more, allows teams who are worse than others to be a higher seed, and teams are missing the playoffs because they're in a tougher conference.
And if we go to it,
we're not getting the best product, in my opinion.
And if we go to it and it works, we'll stick with it. And if we don't, Mars, then we go back to the East and the West.
Sure. If it doesn't work logistically, or 87 games is too many, or the travel from the team from the Knicks having to go play.
I don't think the travel is an issue anymore. Honestly, Mars, when I think about the travel in today's game as opposed to in 1987 when they weren't flying charters and we had to sit in the airport for 3 hours and we had to fly commercial and delays and stuff like that. Even though you're going to get delays even when you're flying charter, but it's a lot different because we can go when we want. We can get up. We don't have to worry about the things that we would have to worry about if we're flying commercial, right? So travel is much different. So I've come off that ideology of travel because, you know, the Knicks and the Trailblazers, you know, we could jump on a plane at 5 o'clock on an off day and head across country as opposed to sitting in an airport for 3 or 4 hours. We don't have to do that anymore, right? I'm just thinking, this is what I'm thinking about, Damo. I'm thinking about it from the aspect of the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference from a traditional standpoint means something. So being the Western Conference champion, being the Eastern Conference champion, and those rivalries that are going on with the Lakers and the Warriors, those rivalries going on between the Suns and Sacramento, that stuff matters. I think that when you have the quote unquote 16 teams, I feel like you're taken away from that, and I don't want to do that. However, Mars, I will entertain your idea that if this works, let's do it. But if it doesn't, we're going back to the East and the West.
Fellas, I got super chats and I got games tonight that I want to highlight and I want us to talk about.
Right.
Keep in mind, every game, just about every game this week has implications in terms of the playoffs and the standings and the seedings. So every game definitely is important. So the first game I want to talk about is some of these games are going to be important, some of them are. But I'm gonna ask you guys about them. I want to hear your thoughts on it. Oh, we got the Mavericks and the Hornets. Do the Mavs take care of business tonight?
They have to. This is a game you just have to win.
Yes.
You just have to handle business.
Yes.
Ideally, it's a game where you can rest Luka and still win. Ideally.
But they have to win, though.
Yeah.
They have to.
You can't be dropping games to the Hornets at this time.
They're gonna be play. I think Luka probably
He probably will, but you have to win the game regardless.
Yeah.
Well, they're 2 games ahead of Phoenix. They can't afford to lose any
They're
more.
2 games back of the Clippers. Like they might be able to
2 games. Right. So we can't afford to lose any games. And losing to Charlotte would throw a monkey wrench in what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Go on.
All right.
Hey,
Jay
Brandon
Rimrick
Miller
sent through a super chat. Jay Rimrick sent through a super chat, said Vegas will be owned by LBJ and Redick and Rondo would be the coaches.
Hey, LeBron getting the team. That's probably
I
going
think
to happen. JJ Redick as a coach, I think, could work. I think JJ Redick is, obviously phenomenal, understands the game.
I think you dudes don't understand exactly what goes into owning a team. Y'all think that LeBron James is going – so he's worth $1 billion. You know how much an NBA team costs?
Oh, no. He has to raise money, Chilton. It's going to be ownership.
Right. So it's not like James is Mark Cuban and he's writing a check for $2.5 billion. No.
I think he'll probably own, I think maybe 20% on the high end.
Right. So this is not like James is putting – it's not like James is going to be the majority owner like Jordan was.
Yeah,
no, that's not going to happen. He's going to be a minority owner.
he'll be the face. Like there'll be an
Right.
ownership group behind him, probably like a private equity firm, BlackRock.
Right.
Somebody's going to pair up with James. He'll be the face.
But I mean, you got to assume it be, you know, LeBron, Rich Paul, D Wade, Melo, Chris Paul. They put their money together. They get 40% of it. You know what I mean? And some other
I don't even think they have that. I mean,
we don't know who they are.
Are them dudes
I mean,
really
teams
good?
these days.
That's all I'm about to say. I think he'll try to do something like that. I think he's going to try to keep it friend group in-house at first.
Right.
But I don't think everybody just wants to be like, and I'm just being random with it, but I can see a world where he's going to the Banana Boat Boys, but Melo like,
I'm good.
I don't want to be there for my son. My son's about to go to college.
Melo wouldn't have to really
podcast
do nothing,
now.
Damo.
Still,
You know?
I mean, just
Put money up.
I'm just saying, just regardless, he might be like, I just don't feel like being a part of it. Just in general, I know it's easy, just put money into it, and that's really it. But obviously, it's gonna be more than just that. Like it's gonna be other shit that goes into it. And he might just not want to deal with the hassle. He just might want to do some other shit, and he might say no.
I definitely dig that.
I think a couple guys will say yeah, then they're gonna reach out to some elites and then do it that way.
Well, Damo, to your point.
Go ahead.
Damo, to your point, like owning the team is a pain in the ass. I'm the check signer. Like I gotta hire a general manager. I gotta hire a president of basketball operations. Whoever is, we gotta raise money for an arena, and I gotta hire people to clean the arena. I gotta hire people to build this. All of this stuff, in addition to just being a ball player, this is a lot. And if you're gonna invest in this, Carmelo Anthony, like you just talked about, Big Ox. Yo, how much you think you're gonna ask Carmelo Anthony for? Are you gonna ask him like 500,000? That ain't shit.
Yeah, maybe 20 million.
Right.
That's a lot of money for Carmelo. Don't get me wrong. That's a lot.
Yes.
Of money. Cash. Get 20 million cash.
It's a lot of dough. 20 million in liquid.
I mean,
I don't know.
obviously, I don't know how these dudes' pockets are, but D Wade got
Right.
money. You know, Melo got money. So
Yes, they do.
and two, it's like I understand what you're saying, Chow, but I figure, see, like the way you look at Bron's track record as being just intelligent. If Bron come and be like, "Yo, I need 20 million," I'm like, "Bron, here's 25. Like, go ahead, do your thing, Bron." Like on top of that, it's kind of like I don't necessarily have to hire this person. I can hire somebody to hire these people. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the owner. Y'all do that. Yeah, you know, you run it. Like Rich Paul, these guys. I think Bron is really an intelligent businessman, thinker. I think outside. So if I was one of his friends and he, you know, and you had that money, I would be more than happy to get involved with Bron. Now, obviously, like to Damo's point, like everybody doesn't want to own a team. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't want to do that. And there's people you meet, everybody doesn't want to be rich. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I'm thinking, everybody, it's a lot of responsibility that comes with getting a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't want to do that. You know what I mean? So I'm just looking at it that way, kind of like that would be more so. I'm just thinking how dope that would be. Like you got these group of friends, group of ex-NBA players that want to continue to grow their legacy. And I'm sure a guy like D Wade would want to be involved because I mean he got involved with Utah, right? He's a minority.
Yeah, he's a minority owner in Utah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. I'm just more so looking at it. Obviously, I don't know any of these guys personally, but I'm just assuming like that would just be something dope for everybody to see. So I really hope that LeBron does do something like that. That'd be
I would hate to be a player and to go play for a player coach that wins one ring every 15 years. I don't know.
Crazy.
But we got to keep it pushing, y'all. We got another game tonight. We got the Pistons and the Sixers, but Joel Embiid's knee is questionable tonight.
They should
What do
win
we think
without Joel
happens?
Embiid.
Yeah, they
The
could
same
win
way they
without-
beat the Spurs. No, ideally not going to double overtime. But
yeah.
they should.
He almost didn't.
Maxey has to go crazy again. Maxey
But they should win. They should win.
Yeah.
They should win. The
All right.
Pistons are playing people I haven't even heard of recently. So
Facts. I don't know who some of these dudes is.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know who he is.
That's what trying to tank look like. That is what it look like when you're trying to tank. When you start putting guys on the floor that don't even got faces on 2K, like that's trying to tank. So I got Philly.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, hey, Mohamed
Is
Bamba
Cade
20 and
still
10
playing?
incoming.
He's still getting the minutes?
Cade plays occasionally.
Shout out Quentin Grimes, the real Quentin Grimes.
Yo, I need maybe not some apologies, but I need some understanding right now.
Stephen A. Smith did the same thing.
Yes, I need some understanding at least, bro. Y'all don't no apologies necessary, but I need some understanding. That's an honest mistake. Even Stephen A. thought that was Quentin Grimes.
No, because Stephen A don't be watching his team. He just be acting like he a Knicks fan. He don't be watching. He just be chatting.
Oh,
That makes it worse.
No.
You want Stephen A Smith timing?
But I watched those. I watched before I made that statement. I had really watched like the last 3 Knicks games, and McBride was balling. I just thought that was Quentin Grimes. That's a fair mistake.
McBride doing his thing.
Shout out to Miles.
Ox A. Smith. That's crazy.
I just need a little understanding, yo. That's it, man.
King Stag with the super chat said, "You don't see NBA legends disrespect Jokic like DT disrespects Clark, Diana Taurasi."
Troll alert.
Yeah. Gilbert Arenas, Tony Kukoc. There you go. Yeah, he was trolling. He was trolling.
Gilbert Arenas disrespects. Kukoc just speaks his truth.
Okay.
All right, the next game we got is the Indiana Pacers are playing in Toronto tonight. We got to upset.
Once again, Indy have to win.
But hold on, Toronto, we've been kind of playing better. We're quickly back. RJ Barrett doing this.
Jalen, don't start it. Then y'all lose like 14 straight. Zip it up, Jalen.
Hey,
They beat the Bucks.
Talk about it. What happened the past couple games? We had a little 2-game winning streak.
They beat the Bucks and they beat the Wizards. And they beat the Wizards.
No, like yeah.
I don't know if y'all been seeing. Y'all been seeing how Quickly been playing? Quickly looks phenomenal. Quickly looks like an all-star caliber player. I'm telling you right now. Quickly's been amazing.
I was telling people Emmanuel Quickly is a very good player last year.
They got to. They should handle Toronto tonight. They should.
Yeah, they probably should.
But we'll see.
All right, Sam sent through a super chat and said, "How about come straight out of high school, or you automatically have to stay in college for 2 years if you go instead of one and done?"
They're just gonna play overseas.
Right.
I like that. I like that.
Some people might,
but if people do want to go college, then sure. But the top tier, they're either gonna come straight out of high school, they're gonna go overseas. They're not gonna.
But Mars, I mean, I know the time that we live in is a little bit different. But at 17, 18 years old, I don't want to go to Greece. I do not want to go.
Different culture, different place.
Yeah, I don't want to go to Spain. I don't. And at 17 years old, at 17 years old, 18 years old,
people are different. Yeah, some people want to do that.
No,
that's different people.
I'm having a hard enough time being from Sacramento and moving to Fresno. Now you telling me that I gotta move to Spain, and I'm only gonna be there for like 6 months or 8 months, whatever it is. But I got to move to Spain? No, I'm good.
Well, I mean, we talked about that time. When I left Sac, I went to see, and I was going through it. But it was cold. It was just a different atmosphere, different people.
You know, not everybody can handle the rough and rigid Seattle streets.
It wasn't that. It was just cold and stuff like that. I wasn't used to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I went up there, got up with Ron and Shaq. It was really cool, like meeting different people and stuff like that. I always wanted to do that. It's just different. But with that being said, I wasn't getting, it's not like I was getting paid or nothing like that. So I could assume going somewhere else and you're getting paid good money, I would love that. Yeah. But I really think that people should go to college for a couple of years. Like, well, yeah, and that's true too, gentlemen. But I think it's better for the game to go to school for a year or two, even if you're already NBA ready. I don't think it can hurt you.
Hey, Big Ox.
I think the NBA
You wasn't hard enough to come to Seattle. Just admit it. It's hard. You too.
Just remove the.
From what I've seen of Seattle, I don't think it. Okay. Sure. Okay.
Mars wasn't impressed at all. I don't know but Mars wasn't impressed.
The NBA gotta do what the NFL does. You gotta be 21. You gotta be 21 the year of the NBA draft. Make them go to college for a few years. Helps the college game. It helps the NBA game because players come more ready. They come more responsible.
More mature.
21.
I realized what Jalen was doing when someone sent a super chat earlier.
This is crazy.
You doing it so that no one can catch LeBron's record. You want them to come into the league later. That's all it is. You want no one to
everything
catch LeBron's
I say is to protect LeBron's legacy. Is crazy.
I think Doctor said it. He sent a super chat earlier. Shout out to him.
Man, it's better for the NBA.
You're doing it so players have to come in later so they can't catch LeBron. It's
nah, 21. Be 20. Hey, in America, what you got to be 21 to drink a beer, right? You got to be 21.
But you can sign up for the army at 18. Right?
That's fact. They should up that. 21.
I just think that you should take away the whole one and done thing. Not the one and done thing. Like take away the high school restrictions. If I'm 18 years old, that's a job requirement, and I'm old enough to have this job. Then I should be able to do it right out of high school. And the idea that if I have to have this job for 2 years in college, I mean, I think that's a restriction that I don't think I should have. If I'm good after 1 year, then bet. If I'm good after 2 years, then bet. If I'm good after 3 years, bet. So
if I'm old enough to serve my country, I'm old enough to play some damn basketball.
No, but I think
that's just as simple as I look at
That's
it.
really
If
not
I'm
the
old
same
enough,
thing.
No.
I mean,
it don't. If I'm old enough to put my life on the line for this country, I am old enough to play professional basketball in America. It's that simple.
It's not
and I'm definitely
that's
with.
the thing. It's about the NBA. I think as a private business and as a business entity, I think it's better for their product for players to come in older with a more refined game versus coming in raw right out of high school.
But if
they
they
don't
don't
find mine too.
But
It's
I will
just
say,
absurdity.
I will say, I'm wholeheartedly with Mars. If guys do want to go to college, have them stay longer. I don't think the one and done thing is whack. I don't like the one and done thing.
Yeah,
That is definitely whack. If you go to college, I definitely think you should stay longer. Hell, I might be with Jalen, not for no damn LeBron reasons, but make them stay till they're 21. So they force them to develop. And Mars, I didn't realize how bad Justin Edwards' season was this year. You're right. He definitely did ruin his stock going to college. He would have had a better chance going to the damn McKnight this year first going to college.
Well, but it's not. Ruining your stock is one thing, but just because the stock is high doesn't mean the product is worth it. So now it's just like, okay, what would you would have been a complete bust had you go to the NBA straight away? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, well, why not? If
This is facts by Shaq too, by the way. This is actually a great point. You ain't going, right away your first year in the Army. You ain't doing nothing crazy. You're still, trained. They're developing you before they really sent you on some real mission.
I think players should have the choice of when they want to go to the NBA.
Right. Well, I'm just with employers protecting their employees. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people but look, a lot of times people be like, "Oh, you're taking my rights away," this and that. Well, sometimes you can't handle the responsibility you can handle. You know what I mean? And like there has to be safeguards in place to protect you from yourself. You know what I mean?
I just wanted to say to speak to that point with Shaq. I'm a military kid. My dad's in the military. My uncle's in the military. Was in the military. You go to boot camp not for no damn years. You go to boot camp for a couple months, or whatever it is, and then if depending on what you decide to do and where you get stationed, my G, you are in the thick of it. Most of the time, a lot of people are in the thick of it. Depending on what they do, you can pick some stuff where it's safer. You don't have to be right in the front lines or gotta go off the war, whatever it is. It's a lot of different variables.
Shaq. Get off Call of Duty, Shaq. This is reality.
There were plenty of 18-year-old kids who in 2001, September 11th, that enlisted into the Army and enlisted into service that went to war immediately. So that's not what was going on. That was absolutely going on. Now you talking about being a Navy SEAL? Well, wait a minute, that's completely different. But going to war, no, I get it.
Yeah, Shaq, that was almost you because you didn't want to go to class. I remember that.
It'd be like that.
But y'all, we got to get to this next game. The next game is the Hawks versus the Heat in Atlanta. Who's going to win these?
Hawks versus the Heat.
By the way, Trae Young's practicing now too. I don't think he's playing tonight, but I know he's been cleared.
If I'm being honest, the Miami Heat, the temperature got turned up a little bit. So I noticed Jimmy playing a little bit harder lately. I noticed that Bam is playing a little bit harder. These fucking dudes make me sick, man. I swear.
Playoff.
Oh my God. Yeah, here we go with these dudes. Here we can go. Ugh.
I don't know. I can't.
I'll take Miami winning. I just think.
Does that mean I have to read super chats while Ron's not here? Okay, fine. Exclusive Excellence said, "Chill. I'm gonna tell you like I told Real Talk. Tatum is a fraud, an imposter, a deceiver, a con man, a sham, and he will lead you astray."
Think about a guy who's improved over the last 3 years. Every year, he's an imposter. What exactly is he an imposter of? I never thought that Jason Tatum was going to be the best player in the NBA. I never felt like that. I did think that he would be in the MVP conversation 2 years ago. I said 2 years from now, he's going to be in the MVP conversation. And I was right. But the idea that he's an imposter, what is he an imposter of? He's the best player in the game? A top 5 player in the game? A top 10 player in the game? That's an imposter? Because that's not true. He is one of those guys. Is he a guy that can lead his team to the NBA championship? Well, that remains to be seen. We still have yet to see that. We haven't seen that just yet. But calling him an imposter or deceiver, that's just goofy and hate. That's all that is.
This super chat right here, though, Ron, that you just had up on the screen, I want to say something. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with it, but if you want to be a doctor, you got to go to school. If you want to be a professional in this, you got to go to school for a certain amount of time. You got to have your PhD in this. You got to, if you want to go be a lawyer, you got to finish law school, this and that. You know what I mean? So maybe you should have to go through some prerequisites and have this certain type of, maybe not degree, but certificate to be a professional basketball player. You know what I mean? So that's not crazy.
Well, wait a minute, though, Ox. I don't necessarily need to go to college to get to pro basketball. I don't have to.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Why not though? Why not? If I got to finish a certain amount of school and learn a certain amount, because look, there's more to it than just being a basketball player in the NBA. I got to learn how to manage my money. I got to learn how to handle myself on the road. I got to learn how to get up. I got to be a professional. Like I talked to you about before, Chilltown. I didn't make it as far in basketball as I thought I was going to because I was not a professional. My mind was not. I did not have a professional mindset. A lot of people just aren't prepared. Sometimes you need to go and learn how to be a pro. Get certified to be a professional. Everything is not on the hardwood. There's a lot more that goes into it that's off the floor when the cameras are off. I think there's a lot of people in the league that didn't make it too far because they didn't have those prerequisites. They didn't know what to do. So that's not a crazy thought. So maybe if you want to go to the NBA, you need to be a certified NBA professional. I need that certificate. That's not crazy.
One, you're naming a bunch of things that have nothing to do with actual basketball, and we're just talking about playing.
What did I name that have nothing to do with basketball?
Hold on. Damn, I wish I could finish. You're naming things.
You just said something crazy against what I said, bro.
All right.
I'm going to shout that, bro. Like,
I'm saying you're naming a bunch of things that are happening outside the lines of basketball. When it comes to being a doctor, a lawyer, all these other things, all the things that are going to school for is everything they're going to be using in the field of being a doctor. Everything they're doing is in the lines of being a doctor, in the lines of being a lawyer. The stuff that you're talking about being a pro, yes, I give you that. That stuff is important. But a lot of that stuff is genuinely learning on the fly and learning with
experience. That's not 100% true. That's not because you have to.
Learning how to manage your money.
That's a part of being. That's a part of it. When I go to school to be a lawyer, I'm not just only learning the laws. I'm learning the rule of what I can do outside the courtroom. I'm learning what I can disclose, what I can say, what I can't do, all that stuff. You know, that's not just in being a doctor. It's not. If I'm a surgeon, it's not just about what I do on the operator's table. It's about what happens outside this hospital. What can I do when I go home? What can I talk about when I disclose? All that stuff is important. Yes, there's HIPAA violations, stuff like that. So when I go to the NBA, it's not being an NBA player, being a professional is not just about what's on the court. I'm an NBA player when I leave this arena. I have to be able to conduct myself as an NBA player.
A lot of the stuff that we're talking about when it comes to basketball that you were referencing, you're talking about in reference to is stuff that people need to. It comes with life experience. Learning how to manage your money, especially when it comes from people who are growing up without money, it's just life experience. Genuinely, you have to learn that is on job training. That's what that is. On the job training. A lot of this stuff with the NBA is on the job training. Yes, you can have a vet that'll lead you down the right way, lead you down the right path. But at the end of the day, you have to learn that for yourself. You have to build those habits. Right. When it comes to being a doctor or a lawyer, it is not a bunch of on-the-job. There is a shit ton you have to do before you start getting to on-the-job training stuff. That's where that that's a huge difference.
They just putting me right in surgery and doing open heart surgery.
Right, and I understand that.
This is the last point. I'm gonna let you make this last point, and then we got to move on.
Well, that's pointless, then, right? We got to get to the.
All right, well then let's move on.
We got to get into it.
The Tribe One said, "Is there a way with NIL to have basketball players stay at least 3 years, like sign a contract where they get NBA money or better, but can't leave until the contract is up, or is that too predatory?"
Well, wait a minute now, Tribe, because some of this NIL money may be more of an incentive for me to stay in school than go to the pros.
That's absolutely a reason why a couple players stay. Yeah, especially the girl players too.
Right,
girls on the women's basketball side. A lot of them stay because of the NIL money.
I'm in college. I'm 21 years old. I'm 20 years old. I'm 19 years old. I'm learning how to handle my dough. I'm not around adults with kids. I'm actually around people my age, and I'm understanding how to move around these kind of people, as opposed to, I can't imagine real quickly, when I was 19, I was one of the best junior college players in the country. Damo, if you told me that I was going to be the starting two guard at 19 years old for the Lakers, I would have been out the league in 2 years because I would have been a mess. Are you kidding me? I had no idea how to handle money, being around adults like that. I didn't want to be hanging out. I liked living in the dorms. I liked hanging around people my age. But now I'm 19 and I'm hanging around a 30-year-old with a wife and kids and a bunch of other people doing that. No, I don't want to do that. I'm not.
Also, too, Chill, the league's a lot younger now than it used to be too. Sure. Like when you go to OKC starting five, I want to say was younger, and if they weren't younger, they were just a few months older than North Carolina starting five. UNC. So like a lot of teams are. And keep in mind, even with that being said, it's only a couple vets on the roster that's up in their age. OKC's a young team. Houston's a young team with the exception of a few players. We just mentioned the Wolves. The Wolves, with the exception of those 4 or 5 players, they're still for the most part a young team. So it's a young league through and through. So that also is a thing as well.
I think for a lot of college players, the NIL money they receive, actually might be more than the rookie contract, especially the back end of the first round and maybe even the second round. And I think just also when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, you're making let's say a couple $1 million a year or even a couple $100,000 a year at that age in the college campus. You're the man on the team. That's a great place to be. If I'm 19, 20 years old, I'm getting that type of money on a college campus and I'm the man. Shoot, being there for 3 years might be better than going to the NBA right away.
Kobe Bryant said himself he was driving around on UCLA's campus, looking around, going, maybe I should have went to school. He was thinking about that at the time when he was with the Lakers early on, sitting on the bench, like maybe I should have went to school. Did I make the right decision? So,
Ron, could you imagine if you were the starting point guard for, let's say, UConn, making a couple $1 million a year in college, the man on campus?
think about Ron. Think about Ron. I don't want you to talk about yourself after the show. I want you to rewind the clock, Ron, and I want you to talk about 19-year-old Ron is the starting point guard on the University of Connecticut on a back-to-back championship team. How wild is that?
Look, I'm pulling. Let's say I'm a sophomore this year, right? Or freshman. We won a championship last year. I'm pulling up to the first day of school next year in a Benz with a mink coat on, grilled out. Listen. I might not make it through the first semester. All right,
please.
I might not.
I'm making more money than the professor. You can't really tell me much.
That's exactly my point. But I'm gonna go to the next game that we got. We got the Celtics and the Bucks. Who's winning? Yeah, we got the Celtics and the Bucks tonight.
The Bucks are cooking.
The Bucks are cooking.
And then Ron's gonna come in tomorrow talking about this is why the Bucks gonna get to the finals.
Here we go. Here we go.
Are the Bucks really healthy? Are they resting anyone, or are they both gonna play?
Boston are probably gonna rest someone.
They ducking the smoke.
Yeah. The Bucks are gonna win today.
Yeah, Boston has nothing to play for, so I wonder if they probably might rest Jaylen Brown or Tatum. But yeah, I guess if they do rest,
would it be 5 straight games for the Bucks?
I'll take the Bucks. Probably means more.
I think 4 out of 5. Or 5 out of 5.
No, it's 5 straight.
Either 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6.
They dropped to the third.
They lost the last 4.
They lost the Wizards, Raptors,
Memphis,
and the Knicks. Yes, 4 straight.
Losers to the Raptors in Memphis. Oh, that's pitiful.
Get Milwaukee off this floor. Get Milwaukee.
Depending on what goes on tonight, and we'll get to the next 2 games. But if the Knicks and the Magic win tonight, and the Bucks lose,
the Magic win. Are you serious? The Magic win?
Yeah, against Houston. They got y'all, Mars.
We getting our revenge. We getting our revenge.
All that talk you've been doing about Florida teams.
Oh yeah, we getting our revenge.
All that talk you doing about Florida teams. Paulo about to get 55 on y'all. Double nickel.
Yeah, he giving 50 to Jabari.
Oh, double nickel.
Wait, Jabari gonna play like he should have been the number 1 pick.
First of all, the Rocket season is over. They're about to start a bunch of people.
We playing for pride. No, we playing for pride.
You
don't understand. Our lowest scoring game of the season came against Orlando on opening night. We getting our revenge.
Jalen Green is about to be at home rubbing his baby mother's stomach.
Oh damn!
Jabari
Green, you got to take care of our pregnant queens. Shout out to Jalen Green.
Man, we winning this game. We playing for pride right now. We winning.
Hey, but Morris, y'all get a glimpse into the future though. Amin Thompson and Cam Whitmore. 40 minutes.
Why you guys got to like Jalen Green and Jabari ain't gonna play?
Jalen Green's not going to play.
Jalen Green.
Or you got to rest your vets. Okay.
Watch.
Vet. Okay, vet.
This season's done. He ain't showing up.
All right. I got another super chat from Edey Thomas. He said, by the way, I think if Jimmy takes Miami to another finals and loses, his resume will start to look real Elgin Baylor-ish.
No, it won't.
Do you know
Respect Elgin Baylor, please.
Any idea? No, he doesn't. No. Matter of fact,
I
no,
don't think,
we're
I
not
don't
doing
think you're
that.
aware of Elgin Baylor's resume.
There's not going to be a TikTok soundbite here. No, we ain't doing that. No.
But this is why we don't just look at finals wins and losses, because we'd understand Jimmy getting to all these finals is super impressive. With the
Once
situation.
again, here you go pushing an underlying.
I didn't even say that. I didn't even say that. That's crazy. I'm just saying the fact.
We
though.
can
I'm saying
see
the
what
fact.
you're doing. You're
This is
you're pushing
crazy.
underlying
No.
propaganda. It's
But
cool.
is it not true though? Jimmy getting to the finals this year would be an incredible accomplishment. Absolutely incredible. This Eastern Conference having to go through
And then loses. And then
Me
loses.
And if he
personally,
loses, he loses to a better
I
team.
don't say individual players make the finals. I say teams make the finals. The Heat make
Good
the
point.
finals.
That's facts.
I don't say
That
players make the finals.
So his impact on this team making the finals would be so great for them to probably make the finals. I'd assume he'd have to play at some crazy level. It'd be super impressive. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, he didn't play at some crazy level last year and they made it. But I mean,
That's
yeah.
true.
And in 2020, he didn't play at some crazy level.
He didn't play at some crazy level in 2020 either.
No.
Until
At a
the-
great level. It was at a great level.
No, in the finals, he was at a great level.
Right.
The first
Getting
3
to-
rounds,
getting-
he was
no.
all right.
He wasn't awesome against the Celtics. No, he wasn't.
I guess Tyler Hill was cooking too. Tyler
Goran
Hill
Dragic was cooking.
Goran
Bam
Dragic-
Adebayo was cooking.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Right.
Goran Dragic was
Yeah,
cooking.
but
Yes.
hey, revisionist history is a hell of a thing.
Dragic checking.
Yes. And for the record, Elgin Baylor averaged more rebounds than Shaq. Let's just put that out there. So when you start talking about Elgin Baylor,
Let me go ahead and shout out our new members right now. I got my man Edey Thomas. He became a new member today. Vish Takes became a new member today. I'm Jay Stees also joined the party today. Shout out, I'm Jay Stees. And Phantom Wolf 72 also became a new member today. Man, round of applause to our new members. Appreciate you guys for joining the party. Also, I got some super chats from some longtime members. Alan L has been a member for 9 months, and he came through and just dropped a very simple and straightforward super chat. He said L Ox and L Dub.
so hey, Ox, do you want me to hold him while you rush him, or
Chill town. Hold him in that full Nelson. I'm giving him straight rib shots.
OBG Kenobi also became a new member. Oh, well, he's been a member for 6 months, and he said, Damo, I can believe she spit in your Pepsi.
What?
What?
Added Pepsi?
Oh,
Was that one of them stories? Was
Relax,
that?
I was gonna say,
I need to hear that.
I ain't gonna lie. I had to think for a second what the fuck he's talking about. I'm like, I'm drinking chair wine. I don't know what he mean. And then
Damo, where can I find that story at? Can you send me the link or something?
I
I need to hear that story.
it's on the channel, but let me tell you, I cannot tell that story here. I can't.
Oh.
I can't tell that
Hey,
story.
show me the link, Damo. I'm trying to hear
we
that.
I got you. I'll put the
we
link in
gotta-
the group chat.
we got to put the children to bed. This is a grown up.
Yeah, that is a grown up story, boy. Oh man. Yo, y'all can't be going back and watching. I'm about to take the videos. Back. Y'all can't go back and be watching the videos, man. Relax.
All right, so I got another game for you tonight. Kind of just spoke on it, but it's the New York Knicks playing in Chicago against the Bulls.
They got to beat them because they lost to them the last time they saw them. So they got to beat them this time.
Knicks got to take care of business here.
Yes, they got to take care of business against Chicago.
I expect Jalen Brunson another 35 piece.
And that, just so you know, that between 3 and 5 only separated by a half game. That's it.
They fighting for that 3 seed. I promise.
Yes,
Everyone wants
man,
Indiana.
y'all, I
I
got
want
the
to tell you,
Bulls winning.
everyone wants Indiana. I'm telling you, Indiana is the one they looking at. Yeah, if we can get that 3 seed, we chilling. That's the mindset. Everyone wants Indiana. That's for sure. No one wants to play each other of that.
I got the Bulls pulling one off tonight.
They get them again.
I got the Bulls clipping them.
You gotta remember the
think-
Bulls and Hawks are playing for home court in that 9-10 playing game. Like they can still.
By the way,
they can overtake. Like the Hawks can overtake the Bulls and get home court in that 9-10 playing game. That's a big deal. Like so, they are still playing for something, somewhat.
Is it any scenario where the Bulls sneak into the playoffs?
no.
Well, yeah, the scenario is they beat the Hawks and then they beat the loser of 7-8. That's the scenario.
Do you see them beating the loser of 7-8?
If Indiana ends up going to 7, yeah,
Did they go
it's
pop Indiana?
they can.
The
They probably
Bulls
won't, but they
sneak into
can.
the playoffs, I swear.
Then that would be even more confirmation that the play-in shouldn't exist.
Garbage, Mars. Get it out of here.
Jalen Brunson's been on a crazy tear. Just hit 43, 35, 35, 20, 30, 61. He's hooping.
Yeah, it's all right.
Context
Jalen.
Clues said thoughts on UConn versus Purdue. Also, I got UConn winning next year. We talked about this a little bit earlier.
Who's going to UConn next year? Because
Yeah, they got a lot of guys
out.
graduating.
Stephon Castle's coming out. So who's going?
Just so you know, Mars, they lost their top 3 players last year to the NBA, and they reloaded.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So
Jordan
the
Hawkins,
same thing.
Ajax, yeah.
They lost
I mean, UConn's great. Are they the premier college basketball organization? Because I've seen it 6 championships in 30 years for the men's.
Nope, 6 championships in 25 years.
25 years. That's
Sure.
and I saw. So they have 7 career Final Fours and they have 6 championships. So put that in context. Duke has 17 career Final Fours, but 5. North Carolina has 21, but they have how many champs do they have? I think 7.
6. North Carolina got
6.
6 of them.
6 and they have 21 Final Fours. So what I'm thinking is, if you look at these other teams, UConn is outperforming these Final Four appearances. Like they shouldn't be winning as much as they do. So there's going to be a stretch where they start losing these championship games. It's absurd to make 7 Final Fours and win 6 championships is wild.
They're definitely a blue blood school. We can agree with that. But I got something for you guys. I know this might sound crazy, but that's me at 18 years old. All right.
In color?
Yeah, that's
Hey,
me.
Chisel, look at Chisel, chill town.
That's me at 18 years old. Hold on.
Body fat.
Hang on for a second. That's the head basketball coach at UConn today.
That's Danny Hurley.
Oh, that's your team. Oh, okay.
That's the boy Danny.
Who was better? Who was better?
He
He won the MVP of that game. That was the state championship.
Oh, so he better.
Yeah.
So y'all was in the backcourt.
I played on the front line. He played point guard.
Oh, okay. So you was up to 4.
It's nice that they were letting black people and white people play together at that time.
It was right, Moss. It was really kind of crazy, right?
Come a long way. Come a long way.
The Jim Crow laws was they were over with during that time.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
That's part of the first
how
wave.
quickly they adjusted.
The first wave of integration.
But really quickly, Ron, there comes a stretch in the game where a team is hanging around and you're gonna get their best shot. And if you can withstand that, you could break them. That's what happened last night between 8 minutes and 5 minutes in that game. When UConn broke it open to, I think it was 13 or 14, I'm thinking Purdue's going to come with everything that they got. And if you guys can withstand that, you break them. And they did. That was it for them.
The Tribe One with the super chat said, no one really wants to play the Heat and the Lakers. Too much aura. Too much mind games. You know what? That I want to see the Nuggets. Bron will figure it out.
No, he won't. No, he won't. No, he won't.
No, he will. But then if he doesn't, it's because he's 39, so he wasn't meant to figure it out anyway. It's called a win-win situation.
That's fair, Morris. When you make it that long, you deserve that type of respect.
SMN RNDM said, nah, chill. If you think about what MVP is, Tatum has no place in that conversation. Honestly, is the one thing that grinds my gears. This Tatum hype.
First of all, what does the MVP mean? It's the most valuable player to your team's success. Now, to add Derek White, to add Porzingis, to add Drew Holiday, it's not necessarily mean that this thing is going to work. And the fact that it did, and the fact that Jason Tatum was able to play the way he played while making this thing work, and these guys being better off the strength that Jason Tatum was there, way much helps. Absolutely, it does.
It's just Jose said it's UConn alumni mostly embrace the storyline.
He's talking about Diana Taurasi.
DR or Doctor said Jalen only saying this to protect LeBron's legacy.
I agree.
Every logical take we have based on facts, y'all just relate it back to LeBron. It's crazy. Hey, but Clutch,
we know
I'm still waiting for my contract, Clutch.
Vic Versus said number 9 said him and CP3 are the last PGs ever. Backs or cap?
He's my Rondo.
Cap.
Most teams still play with a point guard.
But even if he's talking about a traditional point guard, which that's what he meant. Cap. Reese is a traditional point guard. There you go.
Who is Tyrese Halliburton?
That's not even exactly what Ray John said, but Kind of close.
That's what I was assuming.
He's talking about players who are an extension of the coach and who can orchestrate from the floor and kind of like run a team and all of those things. And he said no one. He also said no one plays defense.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, but Tyrese Halliburton doesn't play defense, so that just qualifies. He spoke about defense too. He spoke about defense too.
He's saying like if the coach. Also, another thing, like if your coach gets ejected or something, and we come down the wire, who's gonna know what sets to run? Who's gonna know what plays to run? Who's gonna know what to do in those situations?
Who is Tyrese Halliburton?
He doesn't play defense.
I don't think that's Reese. I don't think that's Reese.
You know who it is? Lonzo Ball. But I digress.
Facts. Hey man, I can't wait for Zoe to come back, man. Hey, God, let Zoe be healthy. Y'all think I was unbearable with the Bol and Mo Bamba propaganda? Y'all don't know about Lonzo Ball. Come on, man. Stop.
I got one more super chat, and then I got a few more games that I want to run by you guys just to get your predictions on what's going to happen tonight. So we'll do this real quick. Mad Max Sports Talk said, can't work ball because I got a 9 a.m. irrelevant class.
That's how it should
go
be.
to school, man. Go to class.
Yeah, it's more than just about what you learn in the classroom too. 100%. It's just
go to class.
Exactly.
School is
important.
Yeah, college 100%. You develop as a person, as a man. You learn a lot.
Class.
I do think a financial management class before going to NBA, whether that's through a college or just through an independent organization, asking players to pass that before getting drafted would be beneficial for everyone.
It's like then like so if you major in sociology, you should have to minor in pro sports. You know what I'm saying? They should have a pro sports minor. They got all the little things in there that you need to learn, money management, all types of things. Shit, sex ed. You know what I'm saying? All types of shit. Man. Learn something.
I'm with that. They need to teach you how they should have a course, especially if you know what you're going to school for. You're going to school to play ball or play your sport, be a professional athlete, whether it's baseball, whatever the sport is. They should have courses in place to teach you how to be a pro, whether it's the NBA, NFL, MLB, WNBA, wherever it is. Teach you to be a pro, the do's and don'ts of being a pro. That should be some shit in college.
Damo and Ox, before we get to these games, I just want to ask a question about this class. Is this free registry for everybody? Like, can the groupies on the campus get in the class too? Or?
No, this is unless the groupies are also on the basketball team or softball team, unless the groupies are playing sports. No.
Volleyball players. If you know.
Volleyball players built different.
I hate them volleyball players. They make
soccer players clear, but
I hate them volleyball players, man.
I hate them volleyball players because they wouldn't give me the time of day. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me. They would not give me the time of day. You know,
the racism back in the 50s, man.
them little softball chicks and the gymnasts, them the ones chasing after me. What the hell was going on?
Gymnast. Hey, get you a gymnast, man. Hey, get you a small balls, man. What?
Gymnasts be real small though. Gymnasts are always
ain't Simone Biles like 4'10"?
Yeah, like 4'11".
How you gonna have NBA babies?
Them 6-foot volleyball players, it was like I must have had repellent on me or something. I was like, what the hell? What's going on?
Like 6'6".
They get you one of them sturdy softball players, man. Get you a good catcher. What?
Oh, okay.
Whoa. See, Mars, what you just said right there. Ain't nobody trying to have no babies. That's why you do the sex ed class.
All right, so I got a few more games. We got the Magic and the Rockets. All right,
I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Magic and Rockets, fellas. What are we feeling about this game?
Easy win
for the Magic. Rockets are pretty much out of it. What are they playing for?
Pride. Do you guys not have pride?
That's cute. That's cute.
You guys don't have pride?
We have pride. I don't think y'all got pride.
We playing for pride.
Shout out Jalen Green, though. Jalen Green dropped 15 points in the first quarter, and he still hit his under of 23 points. And they went to overtime. It was amazing. He did not score.
For what it's worth, those refs were cheating. They missed the goaltends on him in overtime. They were just not calling blatant fouls. It's cool.
Bro, can you imagine scoring 15
they want to cheat. They want to cheat. Then
Dallas
want to start double teaming. It's cool.
It was beautiful. 50 points in the first quarter, and he finished with 22 after overtime.
He didn't make a shot for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was. I think it's free throws, and I guess.
Yeah.
Kings versus Thunder. Who's winning this tonight?
Give me OKC.
Wait, the Kings play the Thunder tonight.
Domantas Sabonis.
We're actually going to see Sabonis versus Chet tonight.
Yeah, that's kind of big.
What time does that game come on, Ron?
It comes on at 6 p.m. Mountain time. So
that's
five Pacific.
SGA been
Eastern.
sitting out. SGA been sitting out some games recently though.
Yeah, SGA. We don't need SGA. We got Chet.
Somebody just said Shea back.
Okay.
Tank Luke 777.
Okay, if he's back.
No, but we still got Chet. Who cares? We winning.
You hear Mars talking about we got Chet already, already warming up.
That's our ass again.
My team not in the playoffs, so I got to root for someone in the playoffs. We root for OKC.
All right, okay.
He's planting the seeds. He's planting the seeds for the Switch.
I'm still a Houston fan, but we're not in the playoffs. I'm just meant to just watch the playoffs just without rooting for now. No, we
He
root
got
for
another
OKC.
half a season to be a Houston fan. He's switching, I promise.
Last game that we got for the night. And it's a good one. And it's a lot at stake. The Clippers and the Suns.
Give me
Big
Phoenix.
one. That's
Give
a
me
big
Phoenix.
one.
Yeah, give me Phoenix. Definitely not to
Got
Dallas.
Phoenix tonight?
Give me
Yeah,
Kawhi
yeah.
Leonard. Give me Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi not playing.
Kawhi playing?
No.
Did I play? Oh, then they're cooked. Then they're cooked. Yeah, okay, that's Phoenix.
Hold on, let me
Give me
check right
Phoenix.
quick.
Give me
Let me
Phoenix.
see.
I thought Kawhi
What's
was
the
The
word on
Mavs are gonna
Kawhi?
catch the Clippers. I'm telling you. the
Yeah,
Mavs are gonna-
Kawhi
Wait,
is listed it out tonight versus the Suns.
Is Westbrook playing?
Yeah.
Give me
Clippers lose.
Phoenix. Give me Phoenix.
But Russ been playing well recently.
Give me Phoenix.
Man.
All right, so we got to get up out of here. Why? Because we got an open gym right now. Not next, but now. Y'all be sure to jump out of here, like the stream on the way out, and then go into open gym, like the stream, and then comment open gym. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all soon.
Mars, let me get that link. I'm trying to kick it with y'all.
Ox, I sent the link in the group chat, by the way.
Oh, for sure. I'm about to watch that right now.
All right, y'all. We out.
Later.